It's us. We're here. We're live on the internet. Hello. Welcome back. How is everyone?
Good.
Happy Labor Day. We're talking about Labor Day. We're in late stage capitalism wins. Yep. A little bit
The
of
real
that.
labor is just surviving in today's world.
Right.
Yep. It truly is. We got a pretty good squad here tonight. There's a bunch of us. I feel like even though I see you guys all week, that I don't see you all in one place at the same time. So this feels exciting to me.
Yeah, we're all coming together. Almost all here. We're missing some crewmates, but it's good.
We're
it's
missing
good
a couple of the gentlemen, but that's okay. Their loss tonight. Too bad, gentlemen. Is this where I'm supposed to sing "Come Together" right now? I'm not going to.
I was just about to.
I thought about it. Yeah, what's going on in everybody's life? Is everybody like eating dinner? It's Monday night. Do we talk about food now? This is the part where I insert food plugs here.
Yeah. And now I'm thinking about it. I'm a little hungry. I've been running on cosmic brownies and Chex Mix for the past 8 hours.
That's
Classic
not.
D&D.
It's D&D food. Yeah, those are D&D rations, but I don't think that counts.
As real
Yeah,
food?
we'll
No.
deal with it later. It's fine. We're having
We
fun.
We went out yesterday. We went out pretty late. We drank quite a bit, and then today our entire meals just consist of at 11:30 in the morning. We were like, all right, I guess let's just order a pizza, and then we did, and we just ate that throughout the day.
Yeah.
That's a good day.
Incredible.
I like that.
Yeah, that's delightful.
Those are really healthy days. I made ribs this weekend that I've been sitting in my freezer for a while, and I had to defrost my freezer. I was like, well, time to make ribs. So I've been just gorging myself on ribs for days, and it's excellent. It's a good life, you know. Somebody was wise enough to bring me a salad and be like, you have to eat this as well. So I have.
Mine was I went to my niece's birthday party, and my brother made way too many sausages, like hamburgers and sausages. He gave me so many leftover sausages. I've just been eating those essentially. Yeah.
I love a leftover. Yeah, I have big scavenger energy. You bring me to any kind of function, event, family thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Yes. Yes. You're trying to get rid of what? Yeah, give it to me. I will take it for sure. Nothing like the free food. Cool. Yeah, it's Monday night. Most of us were here. There's all kinds of TV happening. I'm thinking about Rings and Dragons and all this stuff very front of mind. I don't know if you guys are watching everything. No spoilers, but it's a fun time to be watching TV.
It's fantasy time.
It's a great time for
Fantasy
fantasy
time, yeah.
people. Yeah.
I started the Rings. I watched the first 2, so that's exciting.
You're all caught up.
I am.
Yeah.
Started the Rings, got caught up. What's the from the rafters, no spoiler take, Kevin? What do you think so far? 2 episodes.
I'm really enjoying it. One, just on a production level, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. Oh boy, that's okay. That's some money was spent. It made the show it's incredibly gorgeous. And I think it's really just visually stunning. Story-wise, I think it's solid. It's great. The one thing that I do think that we feel a little is missing is, and I think this will come, is that Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit just have these moments that I feel as serious as the world is, there's so much levity that comes about, you know? And while historically it's not the same tiny people that exist in the movies, we're hoping that more of them can be around because they were such a source of that, right? They're always joking and they're partying and stuff. So I really love a lot that's happening. I think it's really great, but I think that I just want a little bit more of the fun that comes with Middle Earth that hasn't quite hit yet, and I'm hoping they get more of that as they go past the first 2. But overall, loving it.
Big same. 2 episodes. It's a really strong start. I hope they can find like a good balance as they go forward. Josh was very funny. The great Josh Wigler. Like, so that's what $500 million on television looks like. It's almost irresponsible. I can't look away, but it's a bit grotesque. And I was like, yeah, it is. It really is. And like, it's that good. It is just like wildly reckless that we spent this much on a television show, but I'm here for it. It's very fun. Yeah. It's quite something to look at. It's been a very good time to be talking about television.
Yeah.
Many Doctor Who's on the air these days too, between like your Matt Smith and then Grace and I were just talking about the Sandman bonus episode. You get some like David Tennant popping up, a couple of other like notables in there that have been like front of mind.
You know, I used to do this thing of like, I mean, this is probably too small, but I used to do this thing of like, is there like the EGOT, but for like fantasy, like if you're in Thrones and Lord of the Rings and whatever. I guess I was thinking maybe Doctor Who, but it's almost too well. I guess they do have like, you know, companions, and I guess it could be villains too. So I don't know, maybe I feel like there was always never a good fourth. If you add Star Wars in there as well, but
Star Wars is one I've seen. I actually saw a thing. There's a web series I watch called Actually that shows on love that show, and they do you know, quizzes and stuff like that, and one of them was a Venn diagram of 3 things, and I believe it was Game of Thrones, Star Wars, and now I'm trying to remember the third one. I think the third one might have been Lord of the Rings, but it was like, what's the actor that's dead center? Oh, Harry Potter. That was the third one. So it was like, what actor has appeared in like all 3 of them? And I don't even remember who it was now, but it was one where you're like, oh yes, it feels like it should be Warwick Davis, but he's missing from one of them.
What is he not in? Lord of the Rings. Wait, what is he not in?
Game of Thrones, I think, is the one that Warwick Davis is not in, but he's definitely Harry Potter, and definitely
he's got big Harry Potter presence. Yeah. Dominates Star Wars. It's like him and Samuel L. Jackson, right? They're the guys. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But fantasy is doing some good stuff. I honestly, the last note is that I just hope this spurs other fantasy stuff being made, because like I love Lord of the Rings. I really, you know, I was a Game of Thrones fan. I'm not House of the Dragon, but that's a whole other thing. But I just want now.
House of the Dragon is the RuPaul's Drag Race Game of Thrones.
Correct. Yes, House of the Dragon. Yeah.
House of the Dragon.
Make it Dracarys. So wait, that's Tim Gunn. Dang, I messed it up. But like, I really now want like get the chance. And I've said this for a long time, and I know you two are on this train of just like make the Mistborn series happen. Like, bring us that, please. Like,
do you think that's the thing? Sanderson's been teasing. He has a thing. Is it Mistborn?
Oh yeah, it's definitely happening. Yeah, it's 100% happening.
So bad, but I wanted the level of like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, right? Like that show deserves money behind it. I personally like it better than Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Like Mistborn is like my thing. So I would love to see that love for it. And also I was thinking recently, throw this one out there, Red Rising. I would love an adaptation of that hitting on the TV level that we've been seeing, because I think that series is a great balance of the extreme like character death, you don't know what's going to happen level of Game of Thrones, while still pulling the like fantasy story elements of like you know, hero's journey and all that. Like, it's such a great balance with those 2 pieces.
It's very high on my reading list.
Our Wheel of Time associate, Alex O, over from the Post Show Recaps Discord, has put Red Rising on my radar a few times. Like, no, for real, you really dig
high.
Yeah, I need to read it.
I made it like halfway through this one.
Making me buy more books. Please.
I know. Yeah.
Karen recommended Assassin's Apprentice, which I did pick up the first one. But yeah,
also, I'll throw in there the Gentleman Bastard series.
Yep.
Also,
it's also
another really good
name.
Grace, you're out here buying all these books. I'm like taking them from my bookshelves and just piling them into this wall. I have like the freaking wall in the north right next to me of books. I can't like see across the house.
Yeah, there's like libraries and things. You know, I could save money. You know, apparently it's a Red Rising board game.
Weird.
That is interesting. I know there's been a lot of talks about Sanderson going in much closer for the Wheel of Time season 2, because like the Wheel of Time back in the conversation a lot this last week is like like the counterpoint to the Lord of the Rings, with both of them on Amazon, and one getting like such an astronomical budget compared to the other, which like the Wheel of Time was still in like the top 10 most expensive first seasons ever, right? Like lest you like fans of the Wheel out there feel like the bastard stepchildren, you are not. Like, we were well taken care of, but there's a lot of talk about Sanderson sitting in closely with them for the season 2 stuff, and then Mistborn is like the big rumor underground, right? He's talking about he expects next year this time to be in studios, like things shooting, which is like wow, kind of a lot. So yeah,
it's insane. Yeah, I'm hoping. I got fingers crossed for Wheel of Time season 2. Hope it'll be fun.
I'm reading
excited.
the second book right now.
Yay, the second book's a really good one, The Great Hunt. It's good stuff. It's good
I need
stuff.
to hop back in. I really do. It's been so
2
bad.
down, 13 to go.
Yeah, really. No worries. Well, yeah, to the TV of it all, you guys should check some out, and then you could go listen to a bunch of us podcast about a bunch of it, because it's been really fun talking about it the last couple of weeks. Some of us have played much D&D today. Some of us are coming in fresh. We're ready. Yeah, we played last week. I don't know if it's been a minute since we've had like all of us together here, if there's anything we need to like go over. I think most of our level up stuff is like taken care of. I'm still like conspiring a little bit, Melissa. We can plot in the coming weeks, because I have like some fun ideas to kick your way. But is there anything like major we need to go over?
So the only thing I think I'm just gonna have to. So I bumped my con, and so I can't actually, like, I don't think I can do. I think I'm probably, if I was, I don't even remember what I was at before. So I think I just took the average. I think so. I'll just take the average. I think that's fine. I'm at 85 HP. It feels good
For hit points.
Feels like a big bump. Yeah. So it's good.
It's huge. Holy moly!
You say you're 85 HP.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was at like 60 something, and then I bumped my con. Right.
You guys have a surreal party in that pretty much all of you until this moment have like within 5 hit points of each other.
Everybody's
like
magic.
Wild to me, man. Yeah, all of you are like right in that like 60 to 70 range, and it's so like, this is weird. This is unusual. Is that not right? No, Doc?
I have 52.
Really?
Wow. That's
Protect
surprising.
Doc at all costs, everyone.
Yeah, worry about Doc.
And I have wait, maybe this is wrong, but because I have a con mod of +2.
Huh.
Have
Yeah,
rolled
because I
that?
went.
What are
my-
you? That could be that.
My con is also a +2, and I'm at 67.
I'm a +2 and I'm at 68, but I'm also
My
a
last
paladin,
dice
so
was
I
a
roll
D6.
bigger his
but
dice.
yeah.
Oh, that's true.
It was, and we definitely added in. What's cool about this D&D game is that it's all recorded, so we could go back to the tape, and I could like double check a little like keen-eyed observation of the tokens. I reveal some like retroactive math that we're overlooking. But 52 with like you're at 8th level, 16. That's coming off the top. That's what, like 46, 36. Like that's not great rolls, but it's not insane.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. What's your hit die?
D8s mostly.
It is D8s. Yeah, because I was gonna say
the last one.
my Twilight Cleric is at 48 at level 8. And it's like,
Yeah. It's the like 2 of you are rolling D10s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, that's
the
true, the
wizard has
D10
like a 20
wager.
constitution, there's a lot of like synthetic hit point inflation happening, artificial hit point maneuvering.
I
Okay.
feel like Nation's in 40 something and he's level 4 or 5. He's level 5 and at 40 something. But he's a big boy.
He's an elephant. Yeah. He has a lot of that. That tracks.
I don't know if I should ask already if we're gonna hop into that, but where were we? What were we doing? Were we resting?
You don't remember what happened last week?
Oh, I do.
Great question. Yeah, last time on Dragonfly, the lot of you, having left the moon of Lun, traveled through a portal that you opened after repairing the moon base there. Doc working closely alongside Gerby to recalibrate some of the equipment and technology within that highly sophisticated yet ancient moon station on the singular moon above the tiny halfling homeworld. world. A portal opening in the stars above the moon itself, leading to the planet of Rune, seemingly where the false Ginny, the green dragon, daughter of Raxus, whom you slayed in the very living room of that moon base, desired to go herself. As you realized that she sought answers to her mysteries here, you thought to yourselves, perhaps you should as well. And so, with Lux at the helm, you traveled through the portal into wild space, many hundreds of thousands of miles in the distance. Rune, a gigantic world covered in jungle. On your approach, you could see surrounding it the three various moons that orbit this place. It was about 2 days worth of traveling for you to close into the space surrounding this gigantic planet, and some half a day into your travel from the portal to the jungle world itself. With Naya at the helm, they spotted a blinking light in the far distance. Taking control of the ship, they turned, piloting after it, the rest of you slumbering soundly in your cabins, until I believe barrel rolls were attempted, people were awoken, Lux, very frustrated at this deviation from course, racing out to the cockpit. The three of you united as you came upon what could only be described as a large asteroid hurtling through the void of wild space on its set course, a strange multi-hued light flashing off of it. Closing down in, the group of you saw an array of ships, all of which appeared to have been signaled in and perhaps wrecked here by the very signal that lured you to this comet, this asteroid from so far distance. With that, Naya and Lux and the Professor disembarked, with the rest of the crew remaining on the ship, taking it into evasive maneuvers while you followed the asteroid. You're with your friends on the surface. The group of you, upon touching down, discovered a dead man who emerged from one of the wrecked ships, warning you, it's a trap! There's a lot of that in space, as a large, rotting, desiccated form levitated up from the nearby ruins, that of an undead beholder, rotting in the void of space, long dead, animated by strange magics. It cast feeble eye rays at the lot of you. Alongside it, a type of Yugoloth, often found protecting ancient treasures and arcane secrets. The Professor quickly managing to think on his toes, banishing the demon, the group of you fighting toe-to-toe against the dreaded dead beholder. Lux's bowstring was snapped as the dead figure approached, thanking you for destroying this enemy that he has been trapped for near 50 years on this comet with. With the destruction of the beholder, the man himself, revealing his name as Madras Krell, asked if you would send him to his eternal rest, if you would end for him this cursed torment of undeath. His final act before falling to a knee for Naya to fulfill this request was to hand to Lux his old bow, a black, smooth thing with one word etched into its surface, vengeance. There is no string upon it, as he told you it had broken many years ago, and he had long since run out of arrows to shoot from it. But passing it to your hand, he fell to a knee as the camera faded to black. Naya ending the undead extended life of this individual. The group of you gathered from the belly of one of the wrecked ships, the Star Gleam, as it were, quite an array of treasure in coins and jewels and small trinkets and artifacts, rallying what you could together, escorting it back onto the ship. And so I believe as the episode opens tonight, our camera opens on the tiny red and gold form of the Dragonfly itself, as the group of you are pulling away, this asteroid kind of dwindling into so much of a speck in the distance against the starry void of stars behind you. You still have a decent day's worth of travel before you come into like the airspace around Rune, but when the camera like kind of swoops around the exterior of the ship, zooming in on one of the portholes, perhaps to the common room, with its couch and tables peering within. I will ask you guys, what do we see inside? What do we find as we come upon a lot of you back aboard the ship?
Yeah, I think Lux is sitting with the new bow, just like looking at it, like, I don't know what it does. Can anybody help me figure out what it does?
Looks like a bow.
But it's look, it's black and it says Kadras, right, Rich, which means vengeance. In some, I don't know, but the ghost guy gave it to me.
Ghost guy?
Let me look at it.
Oh yeah, so many things. This was really fun. Like, okay, sure, taking control of the ship and going towards a strange, colorful, blinking light might have seemed like a bad idea, but clearly, great idea. We fought an undead beholder, so that was cool. We freed a cursed ghost guy of his curse and sent him into the great hereafter. We found a bunch of, colorful coins and that cool bow, and along with some dragon hide, as Naya holds up the dragon hide, and this red dragon scale, which I want to do something with that I'm not sure of yet.
Pretty cool.
I love following lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
That's
Firbolg
great.
tradition where you follow all the fireflies in, and then the satyr sits and he plays his little flute, and it's great. So I'm all for following lights.
Yeah. I didn't know what half those words that you just said were, but that
Yeah, that's
sounds
fine.
nice.
You don't know satyrs? They're great. They're from the Feywild. They have these little goat legs and horns. Wonderful people.
Whoa, that sounds crazy.
Oh yeah, very very fun.
No, don't
love
call them
building
crazy.
friends.
They don't.
I'm
they're
sorry,
just
I'm just-
totally normal
It's very cool.
half goat people. Yeah.
Wicked.
They're eccentric. Like many.
Well,
I
people
don't know
from
what
the
that
Fey.
means,
They-
but
like
Mhm.
similar to myself, I suppose. Great at parties.
Love it.
well, you found a bunch of cool stuff. That's great. Yeah. Did you say you found any coins?
Rich.
Because you spent all that coin. So
Oh yeah, a bunch of those colorful coins over that way. I just
okay.
threw them
Great.
over there, let them take care of it. They didn't really interest me that much.
Yeah.
I think a
return.
very sweaty professor in the background with these two heaving bags. Like, I've got it. Don't. Somebody was
Rich,
going to ask.
Doc
me
is
something?
yeah. Doc is ritual casting identify on the bow, and I think she adjusts her goggles down and pulls out her kind of multi-purpose tool and is weighing it and measuring it and kind of doing experiment hitting it with almost like a tuning fork, just trying to assess every quantifiable feature of it.
Okay, excellent. We're watching with Doc with the array of tools sitting at the table, checking meters kind of going off, Waffle watching from the side as you're looking over it. It seems like it has a grain to it, but it's unlike any kind of wood that you've ever seen before. And the etching of these words very careful and the simple kind of lettering. It's not ornamented. It's very sort of plain. In its nature, so that 10 minutes go by as you're casting. I guess the rest of you all talking. There is an array. If you check your your loot list here of all the stuff, I updated it. I tried to go back and just clarify any kind of straggling items that got overlooked along the way as well. Yeah. So Doc, as you spend the next 10 minutes assessing this bow. Can I have you make just an investigation check as well?
Sure. Oh,
I see it. 14.
Oh, 14. Yeah. I see it. It loaded up.
Oh, I wasn't scrolled down low enough. There we go.
Gets me every time. Sometimes I sit there not watching dice happen for minutes. I'm Doc, as you're going through the process of investigating, you are able to clarify that this bow is charged with a type of extra dimensional energy. You get the impression that it's very much a weapon that demands a sacrifice in order to function at its highest level. But it's in the midst of like you working over it with your tools and you kind of hit it with the tuning fork that there's a moment that you swear to all the stars of the sky that there is a face like looking back at you from just above where the handle is. Like as you glance back down, it's almost like these tiny like red kind of like slitted eyes and this sneering kind of angular mouth like snarls at you for a moment, like pulling away back from you.
I'm Reven the Bow, we're gonna talk.
Oh my god.
Oh my word.
Lux, I don't know if you should use this.
What?
Why?
Well,
I don't. It doesn't seem. It's gonna take something from you. It's gonna require something. And I don't know. I don't trust it.
well, if I sit with it for a little bit and you guys watch over me, can we just start there? Because it looks so cool, Doc. I really want to try it out. I promise if it's bad, I won't. I won't use it.
What if it's permanent? What it takes from you, you know?
Okay,
Pinky promise.
Pinky promise.
Ooh, what's this? This is a thing? This is a thing you guys do?
It's a changeling thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I got aged like 20 years, and we could fix that. Like, what could be like? I mean, we can do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just want to give it a little shot, because the ghost. The ghost like seemed like a pretty chill person and gave it to me, and he said the string would never break.
It doesn't
like,
have a string.
Well, yeah, that's pretty cool. Just give it a shot, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Okay, I will.
I have found making impulsive decisions to see what will happen has never gone wrong. So I'm actually in solid support of trying this out.
Yeah, great.
I'm just realizing I didn't write it actually up anywhere except my notebook, so I'm just putting notes down on the Roll20 to give to Melissa right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Lux would also like just. Reya, by the way, speaking of magical things that we don't really know a lot about, our statue.
Yeah.
We were talking last time, and we thought that maybe, you know how you could, like, how you reached out to my mom, and like how you reached out to.
Yeah, definitely did. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, like how you reached out to a bunch of people. We were thinking, what if you tried to do that to the statue?
Yeah, I could definitely try that. I'm wondering. I actually don't have it prepared. So I actually can't do that. But maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. And wondering what have we tried on the statue? We've tried so much stuff, right?
So yeah, we went through the list. Yeah.
Lesser restoration. You tried to cure poison. You tried to cure disease. You just healed it. We've tried some like vague telepathy on it. It didn't speak telepathically. It was not cured of poison. Lesser restoration had no effect, and it's not a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only things I remember immediately top of mind.
I think that
seems right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like thousands of gold worth of effort.
Yeah, I don't think anything else I have. There's no curse. Do we start a curse? Remove curse? Do we try that?
I think a remove curse did get tried. Yeah, a remove curse did get tried and it didn't work. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Has anyone tried casting message?
I don't know if it's been messaged. I know we've like tried to do like just telepathic.
And dispel magic. We've done dispel magic on it.
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I don't.
No dispel magics.
Oh,
No dispel magics. No sending. I believe
some of us can't do that.
I believe the only telepathy was Naya's telepathic abilities, and no, like specific spells have been cast to communicate with it.
Well, I'm gonna cast dispel magic. I think on it.
Yeah.
Just at 3rd level.
Okay, let me have you make a wisdom check there, Reya.
Check your savings,
cast it.
bro.
Check.
Yeah.
It's just a check, flat wisdom roll.
Isn't it with? Is it with spell ability? Oh,
Mhm.
duh, that's wisdom.
19.
That's pretty good.
19.
That's pretty good.
That's theoretically enough to dispel a 9th level spell.
Yeah.
Reya, what does it look like as you stand in front of the statue praying? Doc's like sitting with like Lux in the kind of like in the lobby room, like looking at the bow. Doc, like you get that clarification of what I just sent you on the handout, but I think you also very clearly have an impression that like there's some sentience to this item. You've been around enough like talking orbs and yelling swords in like recent history to be like, yeah, I didn't just make that up. As like Reya's in the back cargo room praying.
Also, didn't we like? Wasn't this kind of like in the middle of the night, or like a middle of our rest or something? Like we were like,
yeah, it was. Yeah, yep.
I love this. I love
We
it.
go
I
find
was just
space. Follow blinking lights.
I think it's like a swirling, like it's just like swirling. There's like a turtle shell that like spins and it like washes over the individual, like completely goes over whatever I am trying to dispel magic on.
Okay. Yep. And so with that, with like Naya and Reya standing in the cargo hold, the statue is mounted and lashed up against the wall where Jake has like stowed it such that it will not make trouble for everyone. And you guys watch as like Reya like prays to Clancy, conjuring the turtle shell, appears kind of churning and washing over the side of this thing, this cascade of kind of motes of light falling off the turtle shell. And as each one like hits the stone, I think we see this moment where like it flares for a second and smoke begins to like rise up off the stone of the statue itself. This like thin wash of like smoke almost, as it feels like almost like so much rain washing away an exterior layer of like grit or grime. The stone like beginning to like glimmer and glow as it begins to vanish. This figure, you see like the motes of like this dark tan colored flesh, the hair like suddenly like kind of moving with motion, where before were these solid like kind of sheaths of like stone going down. The wings like move. You guys feel this like wash of air come back to you, and suddenly in the hold of the dragonfly is like a 12-foot tall, massive like white feathered angel winged being of incredible beauty. Their face like kind of like genderless, just very like these glimmering eyes, almost like the blue melding into so much purple. They have this towering kind of visage, a sword hilt protruding over their shoulder amidst the angel wings. And this moment of like the eyes go wide, washing over you. What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, so the cost of Frenia is like 1,200 gold pieces.
How much did also like laughing?
Way more than that.
Way more than that?
That's
like
that's
double that.
Very, very funny. Lux, Doc, get in the cargo hold. We have an angel.
We have an angel.
I'm right here. Right here.
Oh! Did you see this?
Yeah.
Did you see this?
Yeah.
What? So,
Duck speaks Celestial,
Amazing.
so I guess she's gonna be like, "Hi, yo,
Yeah, Lux does as well.
who are you?"
You know our tongue. This like voice, like kind of like echoing through the chamber almost in this resonance. And I think you hear like they like almost seem shocked by the sound of their own voice as they speak for a moment. They like turn like, and the whole kind of like timbre and reverberation of it diminishes as they speak again. Like, I was called Mistral by those who summoned me. Arathiel in other worlds than these. Who are you? Where are we?
Space,
Yeah.
sort of.
I'm Lux. You're on the Dragonfly. Reya, Naya. And Reya just did that.
I sense the power of the divine washing over me.
Praise
It is
Clancy.
new, but familiar. Where are we? Has the nightmare tide been driven back? The gnomes.
Oh right, you fought the Nightmare Tide. Gosh, it's been a really long time. But they're like back now, so maybe this is really timely.
The worm returns. The nightmare tide yet lives.
Well, jeez, yeah, you've been like that for a really, really long time. I'm gonna guess, because it's kind of the number, that you've been in there about 4,000 years, maybe?
I have no sense of time passing.
Yeah.
We were battling. There was a reprieve. I raised wards. I thought I struck the beast down, the leader of the host. They called it the Great Swarm, but it was in fact just their leader. Nightmare Tide was his name. A dragon, black, ominous, as vast as any I have ever seen. I turned back. I thought that I could protect them. I thought I could envelop the city. That was the last I remember.
Copperport. Or maybe it went by a different name back then?
Yes. Yes, the city of gleaming drakes. The copper that they delved from their small worlds. I remember it well.
Yeah, so the gnomes are gone. It's like a halfling planet now. Ballistra Strand is also gone. Not as many dragons happening. The Glittering Synod is like trying to gather people again to go after the Nightmare Tide, because the portals are opening up again and shadow dragons are coming out and lots of stuff. We killed one of them. But yeah, it's kind of just...
At this point, you guys hear this voice from over Naya's shoulder. Indeed, we killed a terrible beast. This is the Dragon Slayer, whom wielded me to great avail and effect in a terrible battle against 2 worms in as few days. We have built a legend for ourselves, Angel, and you should know it. And I think
Naya's gonna look over their shoulder and just say like, "Oh, did you understand all of that? I don't think I caught anything that they were saying."
I speak a great number of languages, Blade Master. We will have to practice.
Yes, please. But yeah, definitely. If you're talking about killing dragons, right here, did that a few times.
I do think Lux would have said all of the rambling in common. I don't know if the angel like understood it, but I think she would definitely be rambling in common, not Celestia.
Yeah. So the Solar is like definitely speaking back to you all in common, just like I cannot imagine such time has passed. There is something unright about it, unnatural. But you say that the synod still stands. The Lister Strand has fallen. They were the ones who conjured me to that place. Their magic opening a vast portal to my world, to the realm of the Arcadians. But I was the only one who could come through. It closed quickly. They had hoped to draw more. They yet endure, though.
Gosh, kinda. They're trying to kind of bring it back a little bit.
Did you find me lost here in the void? How is it you came by me?
I think Lux
How
looks
do
at
I end up
Naya.
here?
Oh, we bought you.
Okay.
Not in the like now we own you way. Let's just
Yeah, we're
clarify
not
that.
about oppressing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
none of
no,
that.
no.
But you were a statue. They thought that you were just a statue, but I was like, wait, no, that's not a statue. That's that's celestial. So I was just like, we just spend all our money to buy what they think is a statue, and then we could free you. And we did. So
Although considering
hooray
how
us.
expensive you were, maybe they did know what you were.
True.
Debatable.
But
yeah, we got you at an auction.
Yeah.
Auction. I am sorry to have cost you all you had.
We pretty much built it all back up anyway.
What's money?
Many things in different places. I am very out of sorts. You say that the council has fallen, that the nightmare tide gone thousands of years, but they return.
Yeah, a little bit.
Ooh, oh, wait, but the gnomes went to the moon and were building a thing that is way too scientific for me to bother explaining, so I'll just say a magic thing that is able to open up portals through time and space, which is a thing I'm very excited and interested of. And if you know where you're from and you could inform us, we could reopen that portal and get all your people to come and take care of this. Theoretically speaking.
I'm from the high celestial grounds. I'm from the domain of the Lord of Light, the keeper of the suns across the world.
And the exact spatial coordinates of that are...
It is not a place we can travel to in this world, but rather beyond. The celestial planes are myriad and varied. It seems like just yesterday I was there, but I should be able to return the way on my own accord.
I mean, also if you wanted to hang out and help us, because we're actually right now, we are following the trail of a dragon we killed that wanted something on this planet that we're going to. So you're really welcome to stay aboard.
What planet? What dragon?
Rune. We don't know what the dragon's name is, but their dad was Imraxis.
This name lingers. A lesser agent in the affairs of that great beast of old, I believe. Rune, though, the synod had a council there, a hall, the hall of the synod, yes.
Ooh.
They said that it was protected by entities similar to those of Lun, by their allies from the elder days. That it was a place which would not be found easily by their enemies.
Like giant turtles that can move the earth just by walking?
Very possibly so, yes. There are many primordial entities. The different realms are created differently, but turtles come up in many.
Well,
What aid can I give you? I am pressed. If these things you tell me are true, I must see if I can find my way home. I must see what threads might yet endure from those old days. But if you speak true, which I sense you do, then I owe you much. And if there's help, I would offer it.
yeah, I mean, we'll take any help against, an army of shadow dragons that want to, take over the universe.
Yeah, gathering any other forces to maybe show up at the right time. Look to the west on the third day or something.
That is a famous line. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You have my name, the one I used in this world and the one from beyond. If you call to me 3 times, speak it aloud, I will hear you. The barriers between this world and my own will be of little consequence.
Are you like Beetlejuice?
Who?
Gosh, I haven't heard that name in a real long time, Doc.
Beetlejuice.
When you were little.
You know Beetlejuice, Reya?
Do I? like when you squeeze a beetle and you drink the juice?
Ooh.
Oh, that I've heard of. It's gross.
Mm-hmm. It's, I mean, depends on the beetle.
I must try to find my way back, or see what might prevent that passage at the least. If you speak truth, there are those who should be made aware. I will return to the Gladden Fields and the Sunlit Realms if I can, and let my liege know, and my kin.
This might be good. I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but Naya, you remember your unicorn friend?
Oh yeah, the one that was inside the cage some time ago.
They were in the same place. When you jumped through
I did.
places.
I have indeed jumped through places, but the way I got here, I don't quite think it's the same way that these creatures travel.
Gotcha.
Mine involves some semi-portaling, but I'm not quite sure that my planes line up with theirs, so to speak.
Gotcha.
I sense upon you the residue of many worlds. You have traveled and been changed for it.
Oh, change indeed. That sort of happens with me and my people.
Can I ask, just clocking, what do we do with the bow, Doc? Did you leave it in the other room? Are you still carrying it? Did you give it back to Lux? What do we do with the bow?
She definitely reluctantly gave it over to Lux, so
Okay.
it's whatever Lux did
Lux
with
is
it.
probably still just clutching it in her hand.
I would not offer you a summoning lightly, but I hear truth ringing in the sound of your words. I must try to see if there is any way back by the ways I am familiar. But should you find yourself pressed, call and I will hear. You there, though, that thing you have in your hand is alive in a way that I am uncertain about.
It's evil, right?
It is not benevolent. I do not sense from it the strongest of residue, but tread lightly with it.
Okay.
Be wary.
I pinky promised, so I will.
Yeah.
Where I come from. That is a binding oath.
Yeah. It's very serious.
Well, just make sure not to accidentally lock pinkies with anyone.
Yeah, don't. It's really, yeah.
Is that a euphemism, Leia?
No, I'm pretty direct in the other ways.
I don't think I'm surprised we've gotten this far without much flirtation.
I think that the angel's like turning, looking around. I think you guys see like Ben kind of like frozen in the back of the cargo bay, just like watching quietly, right? And Mistral is just like, I thank you for this. You've given me a gift that I did not understand I needed. With each passing moment, I begin to feel the weight of time upon me. The truth of your words, the implications of them grow heavier with each moment.
Yeah, we ain't lying.
Yeah, Lun. Like, I don't know. That turtle I was talking about that can move worlds, he's like awake now, so I don't know if you know him, but I don't know. And like the friends of like the glittering synod are like kind of meeting right now with the Fae people.
The politics of that world are beyond me now. I came at the request of a great calling.
Mm-hmm.
I must see that there is a way back before I concern myself with those matters. But I thank you all. This is a gift I cannot express enough gratitude for.
Yeah, praise Clancy. That's all. It's all Reya.
No, it's Clancy.
Praise Clancy.
Yeah.
Your young god will not soon be forgotten.
Do you need a pamphlet just in case you might forget? Or?
She's like I think we watch as like the figure of this thing becomes kind of like ethereal, like almost like translucent. This image, like almost like a constellation lingering as like these motes of light kind of like vanish away. And I think that there's a beat as like a single white feather falls slowly to the deck of the ship from the wing of this angel as it like vanishes, teleporting away from the ship into the black void of space. We'll see. That worked. Nice job. Good to dispel magic.
That's great.
We did it.
We did it. It happened.
That was cool, Reya.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was great.
We talked to an angel. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. And, just want to say that once again, doing things just on impulse really just seems to work out. So,
yeah, that was pretty,
Yeah, this time worked out. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of impulsive things, I think I'm going to go sit with this for a little bit. Let's just stare at it for a long time.
The confirmation
About an hour.
bias is real.
Lux, I think it's gonna hurt you to use it.
Okay.
But I'm worried that that's not it. That it has some darker desire beyond that. So.
Gotcha. I'll be careful.
Okay.
I'll let you guys know what's going on with it.
Okay. So Lux is gonna like go sit privately with the bow for a little bit and try to like see if you can't like understand its workings a bit better. Okay. The ship en route, making its way, kind of closing the distance to Rune. All of you equipped to fly it, if not confident necessarily doing so. Lux, as you sit in the back, where do you go? I guess. Where are you?
I think Lux would go to like the room that she doesn't use, that like her duck don't use, and would like if there was anybody in there, she would be like, "Hey, do you mind if I use this for a second? Thanks."
Yep, the like double bedroom off of the actual cockpit itself. 2 beds for the 2 changelings who do not use it. Mostly just Ben sleeps in there. As you come in, it's empty, and you sit yourself down on the bed, like looking, examining the bow. You realize that while it appears like wood, it doesn't really seem like it is. It is too smooth. It seems to have a grain in it, but the grain like worn almost to a polish. The cross piece, the kind of like hand guard where you would hold it in the middle, seemingly like etched out of the very fabric of this thing. There's not like leather or anything like that bound around it. Over the course of the hour, as you're trying to connect with it, you realize it's clearly enchanted. Focusing your concentration on it, you see that where there was no string, a bowstring kind of like manifests, as though you could like conjure it with a thought, which leads you to wonder whether or not you could even, does it even need arrows, or could you create them? But you're not sure. You don't quite get to that point when you realize like it's trying to draw strength from you to enact itself. So my question is, do you allow it to? As you're like sitting bonding with it, you realize like it's enchanted. It's a strong bow. It will not break. The string will never break on you, but it's pulling at you. It's drawing something from you. You feel like yourself like tugged by it.
Yeah, I think she does.
All right, could you please roll hit dice?
Hit dice?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many?
Ooh,
Oh.
max.
Pew, 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 pew.
What's your proficiency modifier?
3, I believe.
Okay,
Yep.
Lux, you like feel the bow like pulling, drawing at you so much of yourself, this like connection forming between you and it, and then you suffer 15 points of necrotic damage as you feel it begin pulling at the essence of your soul. This black, shadowy, mystical arrow appearing knocked in the bowstring, and you recognize that for the next minute the bow is awakened, a face peering back at you from just above the handle, slitted red eyes, white fangs emerging from a narrow pursed lip, the vaguely reptilian point of a nose driving off of it, and it just says, "Yes, fire." And you realize that for the next minute, the bow will deal an additional 1d6 points of necrotic damage on top of its standard damage. That all the damage from the weapon will be necrotic, that it deals like extra necrotic damage.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I will teach you vengeance.
Who are you? I think she like looks at this face like, what the fuck?
I am you. The eyes like narrowing as it goes back again. Your essence gives me life. We
Ow.
are as one.
Wow, okay.
My strength dwindles. Pick your foe. Deal them pain.
Don't have many foes on this ship. This is my ship.
And you truly are a fool.
Well, that's not nice. I just awakened you. You don't have to be mean about it. Just chill out. Like, just relax. We're just flying right now. You've been stuck on that planet for a long time. I think you'd be thankful. Oh, buddy.
The face like recesses vanishing into the bow, the magic washing away for a moment. It seemed to get pissed off that you had nobody to shoot and leave before the minute was up. That's very much the impression you get.
Okay, great.
Of like, F you, I'm taking my magic and going home.
Okay. I think Lux is like, kind of like, you know, like dealing with the aftermath of taking 15 points of damage when she wasn't at full health to begin with. Whew. Okay, and then she'll like get up and go back out. I don't know where everybody's dispersed.
The rest of you
to.
guys doing anything else interesting? Is there anything important happening here? Are we pretty much just moving forward? I don't know if there's anything you all want to stop down on or check in on.
No, I guess no.
Okay. The hours pass. Lux having like examined the bow. Are you trying to like rally everybody back up again, Taylor? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. I think Lux like specifically like first goes to find Doc and then is like, hey, I should let you guys know about what's going on with this thing. Yeah, so let's go get Reya and Naya.
Okay. What does Lux look like right now?
Probably a little bit more like pale than she was an hour ago. Like, you know, bags under her eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Doc's gonna cast Cure Wounds on Lux.
Oh, geez, thanks. Yeah.
And give you 12 hit points back.
Nice. Ooh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Lux will like get you guys all together again.
Oh, a ship meeting. It's exciting.
Mhm. Ship meeting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who called
I think
it? You. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think
this
you
isn't about
promised.
the cookies in the kitchen.
Mm-mm.
Hmm.
I think Ben's experimenting. Mm-hmm.
With what? Oh, cookies. Oh.
Like cheesy cookies, like savory cheesy cookies.
Side note, my mom makes those. They're so good.
It sounds so good.
Do we have enough cheese to be experimenting with cheese cookies? I don't.
No.
Yeah. See.
I think Jake has a stash record.
So this what the meeting's about?
No. Yeah,
Like
let's
ranking cheeses, like tier
Ooh.
Yeah.
tier
Ranking
list
Let's
for
do
cheese.
cakes. Yeah.
Smoked Gouda, number 1. Number 2.
Yeah, so you were right, Doc, of course, as usual. So this thing, this bow, who is apparently me, like sucked
You?
out, like, yeah, when I asked it, okay, but we'll get there. So I was looking at it and it felt like it wanted to like draw my like life essence a little bit. So I did let it because I was being careful and I just wanted to see what was gonna happen. And yeah, it hurt
you
me
look
a
like
little
shit?
bit.
Oh, cool. I mean,
So
wait.
It was
No,
rough.
bad. That was
Well,
very bad to do. But, you know, for posterity's sake, what happened?
Yeah, so it woke up and there was a face like right here, and Lux like points to the spot where the face showed up. And it had like these red eyes and these like shining teeth, and it was like, "I am you. I'm going to teach you what vengeance is." And then it got really upset because I didn't shoot anything, and then it left. So that's the deal.
So, is it gonna do that every time, or?
Probably.
Hmm.
It's so like it does like. So you know how sometimes my arrows like look like they're like just a ball of like force that like I shoot out. So it's kind of like that, except it's like life sucking energy, like necrotic, like dark energy.
Yeah, like when I inflict wounds.
Yes. Yep. Just like that.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, that is bad, and this time I do mean it. Not like the previous time where I said it was bad and it was really just for Doc's sake. That actually does sound bad.
Well,
I mean, if you're gonna do the whole thing, you might as well just pair up with Ask. I think just have the whole just the whole thing. You could have the whole evil, vibe going on.
I
thing about that-
recognize I was not actually summoned, but as you have spoken my name, I would like to participate in the dialogue.
No, you're not allowed to participate in dialogue. We're having a meeting and you're not invited
I
right now.
must recommend user Lux prior to bonding with a strange bow. You consider bonding with me to engage higher function. Merely a consideration. I will depart from the conversation now.
Thank you.
I can still hear you.
Which is so frustrating because I want to talk. I kind of wanted to talk about that too because, like,
You want to bond?
Yeah, Lux and I actually talked about it very briefly. It sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit. Just because not because it's fun, but because of utility. Because if we can jump into the Shadowfell, that's like really useful right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, sure. For me, it's mostly because it'd be interesting and fun.
But that was just it's just a thought. But now this thing is a thing.
Well, I've been for someone bonding with that thing from day one. So
yeah, again, like you guys are usually right. I feel like you, Reya, and Doc are like high on the list of always being right.
if you say so.
I mean, I think so.
Wait, no. Suddenly now we're talking about bonding with the creepy orb?
Well, don't we need to talk about it? I mean, it's connected to the Shadowfell, and all these Shadow Dragons are coming with the Shadowfell. And if we can go to the Shadowfell and teleport to the Shadowfell whenever we need to, then we can probably kill the dragons a lot easier.
Sort of seems like the dragons are coming to us. We don't need to go to them.
But we might have to go to them to kill the Nightmare King Tide.
Didn't we just find a teleportation portal thingy that we can hop through? Whatever.
We
Why?
did, but I don't know what we need to get to the Shadowfell through that. Because we needed the little toonie thingy.
I feel like we could figure it out and not, potentially sacrifice. I don't even remember what.
Yeah, it was like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, wasn't it like a lot of stuff?
Yeah. Okay, you're right. You're totally right. Nye and I were just talking
I'm not
about it.
always right. On this, I am definitely right.
Is there like a list of stuff it told us that would happen?
Yeah, at some point I
Yeah.
definitely wrote it down, but I don't remember.
No, I didn't know that part. I guess
Yeah.
depending
Yeah,
on what it is.
it's like a whole to do, and
But the benefits are
Um,
kind of crazy.
Mostly just aesthetic, right?
Yeah, you do look like you. I think you completely look like totally evil.
You know.
And
Well, do we mean
you're
like,
like bonded for your entire life.
Yes.
Right?
That could be
There's
a
no-
very, very long time.
Yeah.
until it
there's
ends.
no
Which pretty much. Just
Wait, hold on, until what
until you
ends?
die. Until you die.
Yeah, your life, your entire life.
Your
only
entire
until
life.
your entire life is
Your
over.
entire life.
Yeah, what if you get
Yeah.
revived? What if you die and then get revived?
Hard to say. We don't know if we got,
Oh man.
Westerosi rules. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that we can do that.
Yeah, if it's like evil, like ugly evil, I'm less inclined to do that.
It
Now,
was
if we're
bad
talking like,
evil.
Rich, do any of us remember what the full thing is?
I'm
I
I'm
don't
looking
sound
for
like-
it.
No,
I'm
I'm trying
looking
to
for it,
clarify
yeah.
exactly what I told you. I say a lot of things on this show, and that was quite a while ago.
Well,
Good thing it's all recorded.
Yeah, I'm gonna search
Exactly.
for it and see what we got told about it.
I believe that what that Ass conveyed to you is that it might leave you with an otherworldly and frightening appearance.
Yes, that was definitely part of it.
frightening
go.
appearance is really not going to work for my
Yeah.
extracurricular activities.
Appearance very subjective, though. Might I say? Yeah.
I mean, the thing was about that, not saying that we should do it, and I'm not saying we should do it, but I can change my appearance on a whim. So
Whoa.
I don't know if that would
Wow.
do anything, but
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
just saying.
I mean, I don't think it's really the aesthetic that was the main.
No, it definitely wasn't the only thing that it could do. Yeah. Very true.
So okay, but the bow just is gonna. Yeah.
Yep. So it really could be worse. It just kind of hurts me a little bit whenever I use it. But I don't have to knock an arrow. Like, I don't have to use any arrows. It just sort of like appears.
But you're so good at doing that.
I am really good at doing that.
I
I
mean,
wonder
you
if
don't
it
have
would work if I...
Also, you do have a whole bunch of arrows on your quiver there
I
on
have
your
so
shoulder, and I
many
wouldn't want to
arrows.
see them go to waste.
Well,
Well,
you
I
don't
wonder-
always have to use it, right? Like, you just have it, and if you feel like it would be
Yeah, you know,
handy.
that's a good question. It doesn't have like does it have? So the string appeared before I gave my strength to it. Is that correct? So yeah, I think Lux like reaches for the string. Does it appear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's
I
kind of
don't-
like a break evil glass in case of emergency kind of device.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I had one of those back at the shop. It was a decanter of endless water, and I told the boys, I work at a shop full of paper and old wooden products. Water will destroy everything here, but they said to me, Zrox. That was my name, in case you all
Oh,
forgot. Once upon a time, they said, Zrox, what happens if everything catches fire? It's the lesser of two evils. So maybe sacrificing your own physical well-being to a potentially evil bow that's gnawing away at your soul will be the lesser of two evils someday, and you'll have to use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, we'll not be faced with a situation where our only choice is evil or evil.
I mean, that's what I said about the
Yeah.
fire thing too, Nia.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got out before it ever went sideways.
Yeah. Yeah. So this cool bow, like, you know, at least the string won't break.
So, with that awkward proclamation, the camera fades. The group of you are all able to rest over the course of the next 24 hours while you're closing in on Burn. Everybody who needs to can like get a long rest. You guys can change your spell memorizations, full hit points, half your hit dice back, all your stuff. You can reset, reload.
Sweet.
Cool.
So is it just a regular bow, Rich? Is it when it's not activated?
It's yeah, basically just a long bow with no additional properties except for that one thing when you choose to activate it 3 times per day. If you
3 times a
allow
day,
it to feed on your soul, it will activate for a minute or
Okay.
until it decides to shut off.
Okay, great.
There's definitely nothing else I'm hiding there, so don't worry.
Mhm, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Doc,
will.
you tried, man.
Okay.
You're a good friend. I wish I had friends like Doc. I do. I have you guys.
Yeah.
If we ever
I'll-
find you in possession of a bow that eats at your soul, Rich,
Yeah.
we'll talk
Yeah,
you out of
we
using
I
that.
encourage you to
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
use it.
You'll
Unless
at
in
least
the
be
case
like,
of lesser
only
of
if
two
you
evils.
have to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Probably should keep it on you and not worry about it too much. But if you have to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. I just tweaked it there, Taylor. You should be able to see that. I'll add stuff to your sheet. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else like notable amongst you all, but over the course of like the next day, you're approaching closer and closer. The kind of view through the windshield, through the big glass steel like eyes on the front of the Dragonfly of the planet growing like kind of larger and larger in front of you. This massive kind of green world, as it were. The 3 little moons rotating around it are kind of like notable the closer you're getting. Most specifically in that the largest of the moons, the white moon, is not spherically shaped. It is more like 2 orbs that have like conjoined together to an extent. Almost like you get a pair of cherries that like grow into one another, grape tomatoes maybe, right? So like it's these 2 orbs attached, and the moon is like in this strange, you realize, almost like cantilevering, cartwheeling rotation around the world. 2 smaller moons as well. There's a decent bit of information you guys can collect, but like, is there anything else you want to like stop down in on just before contact with outsiders?
Oh, Naya will ask, Anyone know a blacksmith by chance?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kind of.
Well, so we got all that stuff, and so there's this red dragon scale that we picked up from, Blinky Lighty ship. And I feel like there's something that we can maybe make out of it. Now, I was thinking it'd be cool if I got a new shield. I had this one for quite some time, and it's served me well, but a red dragon scale one could be really cool. Or, alternatively, if anyone wears scale armor, that could also be very beneficial. But if no one wants the scale armor, I'll definitely take the shield.
You do have the full hide of green dragon scale, which was like harvested mostly by Doc and Reya on the moon base after like you killed not really Jenny. And then this red dragon scale that you've been toting around for quite a while. There's a bunch of like random little goodies in the cargo bay of the Dragonfly. You have the whole mermaid like prow of a ship that you found on Gump's back. There's all this like very random weird things that you guys have collected along the way.
Yeah, I can make you a shield out of that red scale.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
If you need anything done, let me know. Someone's head being chopped off. Or
scale mail, but that's a disadvantage. So.
What do you mean for stealth?
I was also looking at that. Yeah.
The best bet is to try and get a breastplate at some point.
If you guys are to make like dragon scale armor, if Doc's gonna like actually be like, oh no, I'm gonna try to do this, we could talk a little bit about like what kind of properties you want to get out of it. You want to try to make something that doesn't have like disadvantage with stealth or whatever, right? There's a few options there, but you can use the scale to try to make a shield. You could use the green dragon hide to actually like make regular armor if you wanted to.
Cool. Yeah. I think it's definitely like make the shield for Naya, and then I would certainly be interested in trying to craft scale mail for Reya and myself that was not noisy.
Okie doke. So we're going to start with the shield. The idea that like you're going to start planning and working on it this time. Probably I'm making a note here, but we'll figure out roles like maybe next session we play or the session after, depending how much like real time goes by. Let me do a little like formulaic stuff, and then we can talk through armor. But suffice to say, like Doc on her downtime is starting to work on these projects.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Awesome.
Red. I'm making notes for myself. Okay, cool. So, the better part of a day later, after much discussion about bows and dragons and angels, oh my, Lux probably at the helm, as she is predisposed to be, coming in. I think Lux, familiar with the trade routes, not necessarily in this part of the galaxy, as you've never been to Rune before, but you know the like rote procedures. And so I think as you're like closing in, you could see the three moons spinning, the cantilevered orbit of the massive white double moon Orthos, the like smaller distant blue moon, like notable against the black horizon that is space amidst the kind of flashing of stars, and then the smallest like black moon invisible to you somewhere. These three moons are burned, most notable to like varying degrees, but as you're coming in, I think you're seeing like the flashing of lights back at you as a ship is approaching you guys from the like large white moon itself. You're closing in like kind of like half a day out from the surface of the planet. The sight of Rune, this massive jungle world, kind of like dominating your view through the windshields out the front. And you see this ship approaching, kind of flashing you with like the indicators of like slow for communications, right? They want to like do like a receiving, as it were, with you all. It seems to be like the kind of patterns that you would be getting from like an official kind of escort. And you've been to enough places with the crew of the Dragonfly that like most of the developed worlds you've approached have some kind of like first warning kind of fleet out off world, as it were. So who are you gonna like inform? I guess like probably the rest of you are all like here. You like can gather, I think, as like through your various portals. You're seeing this secondary ship as it's like approaching the Dragonfly from the side. You feel the Dragonfly slowing down from Lux, and so somebody should like go out to like speak to these folks. As I think that you could see like a group and a mass of people on the deck, and as the ship comes closer, those of you looking out of the portholes, out of the actual like windshields from the cockpit, or anybody that's up on the upper deck looking at the ship approaching, what you see is it's like red and gold painted in a kind of style that's not that dissimilar from your own ship. It's a flat decked top with like a kind of a regular kind of aquatic nautical boat keel underneath it with this round bottom. It is not nearly so articulated or insect-like as the Dragonfly, but as it's coming, you see it as this long, like trailing wings almost emerging off the sides. They're almost like the fins for a fish in that sense, and then it's got another almost like rudder in the back that's kind of like a dorsal fin, or like a pectoral fin rather, for a fish. And as on the front of it, as you see it coming closer, you realize there are these huge metal mechanisms of like this grasping like hook of a claw almost approaching you, and you see this like gathering up on the deck of what looks like a bunch of like humanoid looking figures, one of them kind of like waving this flag back and forth, like summoning, as they start to like slow and fall into a flight pattern kind of next to you all, rotating up around next to you.
I'll head up if anybody else wants to come.
Naya's definitely going, just like, come on, let's go have a conversation.
Okay, rad. Naya and Reya, you guys like make your way up. You like climb up the ladder, like through the hatch onto the top. The air bubble extending up around the ship. You can kind of see the air bubble around this like incoming ship itself. On the deck, you know what looks like about a dozen lizard folk. They all like stand in varying range from like 5 to kind of 6.5, 7 feet tall. Some of them have like lighter yellowish scales, some almost black, some like bright kind of vivid greens. And the one that is approaching you, like coming towards the edge of the ship as it pulls in, like slowing next to you, has this incredibly long, sinuous neck, and is wearing these kind of like ornate green and blue and brown kind of robes, a high collar around it. You see that like it's obviously hairless. It scales this like glimmering, like bright kind of hue of green, as it were. Its eyes like twinkling in the starlight. Rings flashing on its fingers. You see like the jangling of chains, medallions and necklaces around its neck as it strides towards the edge of the ship. Like, hail travelers! I am called Suran, the suzerain of this. I represent the Corsairs. We are the peacekeepers on the outer edges of Rune. We intend to land.
Yeah. Yeah, we were hoping to. Peacekeeping. We like the sound of peace. Yeah. I'm Red. This is Naya.
Hi.
Well met, Reya and Naya. You are your ambassadors for your crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. I am unfamiliar with your ship, the classification and the specificity. We are the protectorates of the trade ships incoming and outgoing from the Great Port. If you would, we would have you escort us to land on Orthos. We'll take in your paperwork and send you on your way.
Orthos is a moon. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so we would go with you to the moon?
No,
to come back here?
We will land briefly. We will take down your information, goods transported, your crew members, and your purpose. We have, as Sirion has grown in importance as a major shipping city of the galaxy, found that there are a great many travelers and traders who would pull clever games of chicanery and obfuscation between our reception here and landing at the port. This is merely part of our process to ensure that smugglers, pirates, contraband, and the like is not become a problem on our fair world.
I would like to make sure that this isn't chicanery. I would like to insight check.
Yeah, roll an insight check as you're yelling back and forth to these like lizard folks on the ship on the other side, right? 13. Yeah, there is like as you're looking at the rest of the crew, there's a uniformity to all of them are wearing the same armor. They're all individuals, but like the crew is all armed the same in terms of crossbows that are like the same make and the same kind of fletching on their arrows. And I think that you see this like insignia on the chest of Susran here, the like lead kind of ambassador on the ship, that appears to be that of like a tree with these like 3 like kind of moons behind it. It looks kind of like official looking.
Okay. Yeah, we'll fill out the paperwork. I mean, Reg will fill out our official paperwork. Reg will fill out paperwork.
That is most pleasurable for us. Thank you for your compliance. We do not like to have to use the jaws on newcomers. Our goal is to ensure that you will come back again. If you will just follow us, we will land within the hour.
Yeah. Huzzah. Yeah. And
So
instructor Lux, yeah. Did you say he was going to attach it or escort? Or they're just going to escort us? Is that what's
They're
happening?
just asking to escort you. They were like, hey, will you follow us to the moon
Yeah.
and land without a problem? Oh, good. Then we don't have to grab you with our jaws.
Got it. Yeah.
Right. And so you watch Lux as like Naya and Reya make their way down in the kind of cabin informing you. You watch like this lamprey ship pull out in front, like leading down. And so you guys follow, making your way down towards Orthos, this big, like kind of bloated double moon. It is white from a distance. As you come down approaching, you see what looks like a dusty, like smooth surface, kind of bits of like rock jumbling up here and there. But for the most part, it's a smooth, barren world. And it's the strangest of sights as you come down landing for it, because due to the nature of like its topography, this one sphere dropping down into another, there is, as you're coming down, you see what looks like almost like a warehouse kind of like laid out in front of you, this large kind of gray stone building, a few ships docked and berthed there as you were coming down towards it, these open kind of like landing pads where you're able to like bring your ship down. But then off in the distance, it's as though like this one singular enormous hill just like rises up off the horizon and almost like blots the sky out, right? Because like the actual station itself is down in kind of very close to like the crease, the conjoining of these 2 separate spheres, as it were. And so Lux at the wheel, like the Dragonfly lands down lightly on the pad, the ramp dropping, and there are like a grouping of all these kind of like lizard folk around the ship as you guys have landed. I don't know if there's anything you guys want to discuss before you disembark or any other notes here.
Yeah, I think Lux is in her short, like red-haired half-elven form, as like they kind of got closer to that, like as the lamprey ship like came closer to them. But yeah, I think Lux excitedly like walks off the ship. Everybody.
Nice. Lux at the lead. The rest of you guys are all kind of coming. Everybody's disembarking. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's this squad of all these like lizard folk. I think you see with them this white scaled dragonborn, notable because he's like a little squatter, wider than the rest of them, standing amidst them from the back. They're all kind of watching casually as they're like tying down the like lamprey ship that just landed, and you see this long like green scaled lizard folk that just kind of received you like at the head of the small group coming towards you, all of them with weapons in the like rest position. And as it comes forward, it's just like bows very deeply, head nearly like touching the ground before you, like, well met and welcome to Orthos. Some of the world know them as the brothers, but we merely call it home. We of the Corsairs spend much of our time up here, Sirion, a great port of the city of Rune. We thank you for your compliance. Many first-time arrivals are resistant to our processes here, but it's a busy city. It demands busy processes.
Yeah, no,
This
that
is
track. You're
the-
trying to make sure that there's no moonshine coming through, right?
Indeed, the only moonshine is right beneath our feet.
This is the lizard folk that's talking to us, right?
Yeah. This very long-necked, like kind of green-scaled lizard folk. They're just like, really, we need only gather some information from you, commit that it's to certainty. We should have you out of here within an hour or two at most. Please, come with me if you would. And it starts like kind of like escorting you, gesturing for you guys to kind of like walk towards the main compound across this sort of like airfield as it was, right? This like bits of dust are kind of like blowing up and kicking around your feet. You see this thinnish kind of layer of like white dust over a lot of the ships out here. All manner of like ships out here on the pad, but most of them are very like traditional in their shape. They look like kind of regular human sailing ships that are in these like cradles, right, with these like very sophisticated sails and wings and masts rolling off the side. A few of them more fish shaped, and then you see like a whole kind of row of like a dozen of what looks like these lamprey ships that appear to be like the Corsair class. There's a lot of like lizard folk moving around in these same kind of uniforms of like leather hauberks painted green and brown. And as you're walking, Sularan is like asking, like, your ship, it's very unusual. We've never seen anything like that. It's quite a bit smaller than a trade ship might be. Are you part of a larger organization? Would you fly for your own?
Tam Fey Guild.
Fey Guild, yeah.
We're part of a guild?
Yep.
Huh.
Doc casts message to Naya. It's like, just go with it.
Naya nods.
Yeah, we mostly do exploring more so than trading, but yeah.
Excellent. You're not carrying any major cargoes then?
Not anymore. I mean, no.
It's just a funny story, yeah. So it's fine.
I was gonna ask before we left, but we're not really, right? We don't
Really
really
not.
have
I
anything.
don't
We
think
don't
so.
have anything.
No.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
like
our
stuff.
biggest cargo vanished into the,
Yeah.
the celestial plane.
Yeah, like Sularan like brings you to this one door. There are a couple of guards there. They throw these doors open for you. The building is all like stone, no like real windows on the outside of it, notably on the first floor, as they like lead you down this hall, like turning down a side hall, turning down another hall into like a wide open room, right? There's a table in there in the center of the room, and they're just like refreshments, beverages, anything that we can get you. Do you have any questions that I might be able to answer for you before you make landfall? Have any of you ever been to Rune before?
No.
No.
But,
Well, yeah, I guess I haven't been on World, but I think I've been through here at least a couple times when I was little.
do you have like are you like the leader here? Like in charge of like the Corsairs or?
No, the Corsairs are an incredibly large organization. We are one of the oldest, actually, on all of the planet. We have, well, for as long as there's been space travel in an off-world, we have been responsible for the receiving of incoming ships, the protection of the outgoing, and we maintain peacekeeping in the city streets itself. I am merely one captain of one vessel, a lead emissary, but not nearly in charge of everything, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say those ships are really beautiful, and yeah, that's a Dragonfly. We're the cooler Dragonfly. I'm Lux. I'm the pilot. Yeah, what was your name, by the way?
Sularan.
Sularan. Okay, great.
Shot in the dark here. Feel like it's probably unlikely, but just you wouldn't happen to ever run into someone of your people happen to have the last surname Bizarre or anything like that by chance?
No.
Damn.
No.
Oh well. That's all right. No problem. Don't worry about it.
I am not sure how familiar you are with Lund, but Rune, rather, there are
Lunberry.
there are millions of my people here. We are amongst the most populous kinds, and I would not imagine I know even a fraction of a percentage of them. There are many and more who still dwell in the wilder places and tribal cultures and communities, though Sirion is a bustling and incredible city, of course, larger by far than most on other worlds, from my understanding. A regular metropolis.
Very excited to see it.
If you do mean to engage with any trade during your time there, it's imperative that you keep in mind the control of the trade guilds and operate through appropriate channels. It would be hard to avoid doing so, as they have a great impact on everything, of course, but nonetheless, you don't want to purchase from unapproved vendors.
These are the trade guilds, like, because you are all lizards and you have. I don't even know if lizards have gills, but.
No, we do not have
Yeah, you
gills.
don't have gills, I guess. Yeah.
That would be fish, perhaps.
This has been wildly rude of me, so I apologize.
It's quite fine. There are many suppositions about the reptilian species. As such, we have bonded together quite well in our time in Ruin. You'll find many of the little scaled folk and bullywugs, the Tortles even, Dragonborn. Many of us are in coalition together.
That's great news.
Yeah.
So you have no goods to transport, and you are not here for the purchasing of any major commodities or transport therein?
Not major. Well, yeah, not major, but
Yeah,
we might do
no,
some
just-
light trading. You know?
Yeah, I might do some window
Yeah.
shopping, you know.
Yeah.
This,
We're
of
just
course, entirely acceptable. We are mostly concerned with the large-scale movements of commodities, such that might disrupt other trade negotiations galaxy-wide. There's an incredible amount of resources moved on and off of Rune. Well, this is excellent then, and a number of your crew, and I think that they're just like filling out a number of like things. They're asking about Reggie, about Jake. Yeah.
Also, just a question for you. How do you feel about oppression?
Oppression? Is that a bard that I'm unfamiliar with? Or?
No, like, like oppression, like, like the the bad thing.
Of peoples?
Like, yeah, the subjugation of one folk by another.
Yes.
No. We do not stand for subjugation on Rune. We are quite pleased with the capitalist system that we've come up with. That anyone has
capitalism
to rise up on their own accord. The industrious can truly make for themselves a life where they had none before, and the lazy fall aside and squander fortunes.
Okay.
We are strongly against the oppression of any peoples on that level, if that's what you mean.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it's
Wait.
Not quite,
better.
but you know.
Have I heard about you? Is that recently some of the crew were talking about a song of some dragonflies that created ripples on the water world with the Sahagwin. That had something to do with the Civil War there. Is that true?
Oh, that wasn't us. That
Wow.
was somebody else.
No, we don't cause planet-wide disruptions like that.
Right.
No.
Well, it's quite.
But it does sound like whoever did that, it's
quite
was
the
really
talk of-
forward-thinking.
All the galactic news outlets, there has been much discussion. It seems that the grand mercenary companies, the greatest of them, are converging on Saralea, the water world, I believe, on the far system. Some
really
terrible civil war torn
Yeah.
up there.
Yes.
They have some kind of battle song about dragonflies, but I suppose it's coincidence. Okay, so your crew, 6, 7 with kobold, excellent. Any foreign plants or animals that you'll be bringing onto the world?
Onto the world? No. That's
Okay.
right? That's right.
Yes.
We're not bringing
Yes.
seed or anything. Yeah, right?
That statement is very accurate. We
Yeah.
won't be bringing any onto the world itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a technicality, meaning you have very dangerous things on your ship that you
Oh,
won't be
no,
Not
no,
bringing
dangerous.
off,
No,
or-
not
No.
dangerous.
Not dangerous.
But
No.
foreign.
But also, like, don't go on the ship. Just
It's
leave it alone.
haunted. It's haunted.
It is
It
haunted
is
by
haunted.
ghosts.
We are very, very serious about ships' access rights. on Sirion.
Great.
It is a
great.
city with many vendors, all sorts of people. To that note, I feel obligated to convey to you here, you may encounter other travelers, such as yourself, during your time in Sirion, who may feel differently than you or I about matters important to you. But what is important to us as the Corsairs of a bustling and important intergalactic trade hub is that you do not choose to use violence to change their behaviors while within our domain. We feel it's a
Okay.
reasonable request. What happens in space can stay in space, but what happens in Ruins airspace is very much our purview, and we like very much to not enter disagreeable interactions with our clientele and visitors.
Pacifists?
Sure. We are not pacifists. I feel I must candidly inform you, we are not pacifists.
Fair enough.
Just
Yeah.
no fighting.
We do not look for fights where they do not need to happen. But if
Yeah.
our hand is forced, we will act with strength, and we would not wish to see that occur.
Are you all like you're the authority here, you know? Like
Indeed.
you know, if
in
we
the
have
city
trouble with
proper
someone, we would
itself.
come find and what? In the city proper itself. And we would come find you if we had a problem.
Indeed. Not me personally,
Oh, no,
as I
yeah,
will
yeah,
be
yeah.
here on the moon, Orthos. I can give you this small informational pamphlet. I have a number,
pamphlet.
should they be useful to the rest of you. Sirion itself is a massive city. This
Yeah.
is not an accurate depiction of its districting per se, but a rough outline of the 5 major districts of the city. As new travelers here, of course, you will be received and land in the starport. The cash blocks, you might find some interactions that might be palatable to you. It is mostly a place about the marketing of larger scale commodities, woods, leathers, large scale trade, which it seems you are not as inclined to engage with. I would suggest to you that perhaps you look to take up rooms in the Sky Gardens. It is by far the most luxurious of the districts in Sirion itself, and the meets is where you can meet all manner of other travelers and townsfolk, the folk of Rune. It is a much more commercially oriented enterprise. You might find shops better suited to the scale of your purchasing.
Did you just
Called
call
the
it
meats.
The
the
meets.
meats?
Yes.
Right to
we
the point.
have the meats. Okay.
The city
That's
was...
where you.
Oh, please, go ahead.
That's where you go to meet people, interact with other
correct.
places, and
That's great.
you can find
the
a bar
meats.
there. Or
Correct. Most
Okay,
of the
great.
bars. Yes.
Naya stars that area.
In truth, the naming conventions, some of which are tethered to some of the old language of my people, and it referred very explicitly to where the meats were kept, where eating would occur, which grew naturally into such a place where you would meet others, and the name kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Can you say meat one more time?
Meat.
Nice.
Great.
We love
Well,
meat.
it was nice to meet you. Are we allowed to? Are we
Well,
free?
you said 5 places. Is there any? Because you said
Yeah.
Starport, Cash Block, Sky Garden, the meats. Where's the 5th?
Yes, there is the grind as well, though that is an industrial sector. I can't imagine there is anything noteworthy or important for an adventuring exploratory group such as yourself to come up with in the grind, though if there was anything you were looking to...
I've been in many places where doing the grind is not that bad. So just for specification purposes, this is which type of grind?
It's just a name for the district itself. It's the industrial quarter. There's a lot of wood processing, tanneries, refineries. It's an industrial sector. It is not the most beautiful section of the city per se, but we get stuff done there.
And you already said the other 2. Did I miss those?
The starport and the cash blocks, likely.
The starport. Is there one more? Cash
Cash
blocks
blocks.
meets the grind. The starport.
Sky Garden.
Oh, the Sky Garden. Great.
All right.
I just have a couple questions
Of
for you.
course. Yes.
I was just wondering, is there a ship that came through here called the Peregrine by any chance?
No. I'm familiar with the name through some of the trade corporations, but no, the Peregrine, I don't believe lands here. We are not part of her course.
Okay, great. Second question. Do you
Perhaps
know?
someday. Can you put in a good word?
Of course I can. Yeah. Do you happen to know? Because we're like explorers and curious, and we have like cool maps and stuff. Are there any notable ruins on this planet that are kind of like mysterious, maybe?
Temples of the sort.
Countless. Temples, not as much. The religions on Rune are limited. Dash Eclipse have taken on a big following in recent years. They actually, due to their charitable contributions to the city, have raised quite a temple for themselves at 5 points, right in the center of the city itself. And then, of course, there are the Dwemerkin, the moon worshippers, more found in the tribes, but I don't know anyone of that sort, no.
So you don't know of any you said there are countless ruins.
Yes, but a particular temple that is ruined of note, I could not say. My studies in history were not very successful.
Fair. Do you know who we might go to ask about such things?
Oh, well, you could, of course, the museum in the Sky Gardens. There is, of course, a very notable repository of information and history there. You might be able to find something useful.
Great. Thanks.
It is called the Collection of Curiosity.
Ooh. That's a fun name. Oh, great.
Well, we have all we need here. For your own understanding and clarification, not that I have reason to distrust the group of you at all. The information that I have taken here will be sent forward in front of you. Those waiting for your arrival in the Skyport will have the correct knowledge as presented to us, and they will seek merely to verify that that is accurate. A quick once-over of your cargo holds. Nothing will be searched or turned over in any aggressive fashion. As we said, the rights of your ship are of tantamount importance to us. There will be a berth waiting there for you. You can pay your docking fees on arrival. Your ship is rather small. No offense, compared to the great trade galleons. It's only a small fee, 20 gold daily for your amount of time. We can take a better rate if you plan on staying longer. You can work all of that out with the harbor master should it suit you. If you don't have any more questions, then I send you on your way, and thank you for your compliance with us. It has been a real pleasure meeting you.
Well, gosh, I mean, you guys are so nice about it. We've come into a few ports, and sometimes they're not so nice, and that doesn't make you want to be compliant. So when you're nice, people are nice back to you.
I very much appreciate that. I try to open with a good foot, but the reality is many choose death and battle. They think that they might fly past the blockade as though the giant jaws on the front of our ships are just there for show. They're not.
They're not? That's so cool. Oh my gosh. These ships are crazy.
Doc could probably make something like that.
Get our dragonfly.
Imagine a dragonfly with jaws. Wow, 20 gold per day. All right. That's all right. Pretty steep.
Not cheap. Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And so with that, Suzerain kind of walks you back out through the compound, out across the yard. You're watching one of the other ships lifting off, guards milling around on the ground. Some of these lamprey ships up in the air. As you guys reboard and take back off. And so with that, With no final ado, Lux begins like closing in, making her way down towards the planet. As you like move away from this kind of cantilevered, like spinning double moon, as it were, you see in the distance the like pale blue moon that is like Siren. It's notable as it stands out like bright. It almost feels like it's refracting light back at you for as bright as it is. This like crystalline kind of body. There's a gloss of reflection kind of like emerging up off of it while you come past it, like kind of like a few hours like past that, if you're watching carefully you might possibly be able to spot the third moon if anybody's looking for it, but otherwise you begin to close down in towards the city. Lux like following the kind of like beacon pings and communication arrays as it were, like coming up to like guide you down towards Syrian itself. Were you going to ask something?
Yeah. This is not an important question by any stretch of the imagination. Do spaceships have horns?
Oh, that is an important question.
Most of the spaceships you have run into so far do not have horns.
We gotta install like an air horn.
Yeah, I feel like we need something that pull away. We can get.
I mean, like sound in space doesn't.
We can't. We're gonna lose Lucian's
work
connection if we start talking about physics in space.
But doesn't the
We already
Dragonfly
did this
have a
with
little
gravity.
pocket
It's
around
fine.
it or whatever? So
There
we go on the
is-
deck and stuff?
There is an air bubble that extends 20 feet out from the Dragonfly. Listen, we want to start talking about science. I got science. I just don't know how far anybody wants to go there. But
I
the
just want
Dragonfly
to.
is technically a gargantuan object that has a 20-foot air pocket around it. And within the air pocket, you could do ooh, ooh. But if you do ooh, ooh in your air pocket in space, can anybody hear you except the people trapped in the air pocket? That's the question.
I don't care.
But if we're like in the atmosphere of a planet, then I guess
Well,
people can hear.
that's
Is
the
that
whole
the
thing.
point?
Like, yeah, if like Lux is like
Okay.
pulling away, do a little. Yeah.
I mean, if
Not
it would
this
make
time,
Lux
Lux.
happy, I'm sure we would have installed it at some
For the
point.
first time so far, Lux realizes truly what's missing in her life. Not a cursed bow. She's got one of those now, but rather an air horn. Ooh, ooh. And so I think we quietly see Lux in the Spelljammer helm, like ooh, ooh, to herself as she closes. in
Lucia,
towards
I need
the
to spend time. I would like to be building a magic item that casts the cantrip message, but only ever goes.
Is it only to Lux, or you can message anybody?
No,
Does it-
anybody.
Anytime somebody uses this item,
Anybody,
Lux
if
goes,
somebody's like
I
within whatever. it goes,
desperately want that
Yeah,
so
just
bad.
like a horn. Yeah.
I want that so bad.
And so with that, as you are like circling down in, you're kind of passing these like waypoint stations that are like pinging signals to you, Lux, almost like so many kind of trail markers leading you down into the massive size of the world. As you realize like you could easily land on this place, like just closing in towards it. The group of you have like come down on enough worlds by now to like see the distinct, like it just seems like this furry green orb from a distance, right? These like undulating almost hills and waves of the tree lines themselves. And so with some assistance, Lux, you're able to kind of like orient yourself down towards Syrian itself. And yeah, you begin to like close in, the world growing larger and larger, the black of space melting away around you as you're suddenly like surrounded slowly by the atmosphere of the world itself, kind of clouds suddenly obscuring your vision as you're cutting past through the white banks of fog down over the green forested towering city, and you see what amounts to like this glistening almost like bowl. The city of Syrian is built in the like cupped tops of this tree canopy, nearly 1,000 feet up off the surface of the ground. You can't even like almost see the earth beneath it. Like, and around the edges of the city is nothing but treetops and branches and shadows kind of hiding everything down beneath. The bowl itself slightly off-centered with like one edge higher than the others, as the skyport sits at like the highest sector of the city, and almost almost then like a Colosseum style, right? There's like tiers of the outer edges of the districts moving down in towards like the lower near the center. But as you're coming in towards the skyport, like it is a bustling place, people moving everywhere, tiny and ant-like as you first start closing in. And then you realize, like, moving around above the tops of the city in like kind of carefully articulated lines, are creatures, flying creatures. You see what looks like these winged beasts with riders on their back. You see small sailing ship type devices that reminded you of the scrapper that was run by the dwarves, like working for Brazzoli Chaos Brewer. These smaller sort of airships that are used to move things from the giant freighters to locations, to warehouses, moving in this very kind of orderly fashion. And you would note like these small versions of those ships that are just kind of sitting stationary, and people like guiding and directing with like almost these like beams of light that they're like projecting up off of their hands, like moving the kind of traffic in the airflow. And somebody like clearly signaling you, Lux, as like this green light starts like flashing right in, and they start like aiming you down towards a flat landing dock. Notably, many of like the docks and the banks around here are these cradles, because many of the ships are built to like land in water and don't have the legs of the Dragonfly. So the Dragonfly, like coming down, articulates at this kind of wildly weird angle, moving sideways, the legs like extending out to grab onto like scaffolding in what would be a cradle to hold a ship-styled boat. As you kind of like drop down in, you hear like movement outside as like the figures start to like gather up towards the back of the ship. And you guys have like landed amidst this like enormous sort of metropolis of a city, people abounding everywhere outside. I don't know if there's anything you want to do before you disembark.
I think Lux is like parking and like running off the ship as fast as she can. She's so excited.
Yeah.
The ship parks and you get to see Lux just like hauling, running past all of you, curse bow at her back as she's like charging for the back of the cargo hold. Yeah.
Naya's gonna turn to Doc and say, "Hey, the Peregrine, that's Lux's parents' ship, right?"
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is she asking about if it's come in? Does she not see them? Does she not know where they are?
I don't think she's talked to them since we left.
Oh. Well, I had no idea. We were chatting last on our way to before that whole light undead creature adventure, and she was mentioning her parents and that you stayed with them for a while too.
Yeah, they're like basically raised me.
Oh, well, that's nice. So you guys are like sisters then?
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
They're great.
That's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That must be nice, having like a sisterly bond like that.
Yeah, I mean, Lux is the best.
Very true. All right, well, I'm gonna go try to get laid. I'm gonna head over to the meets, I guess.
Good luck with that. I'm gonna probably go find whatever local thing has the most sugar.
Yes, sugar.
Are we splitting up? Uh-oh.
It sounds like splitting up is almost happening.
Lux
Reya,
is antsy waiting outside for
as
everybody.
Lux like charged past you, did you like linger with the other folks, or are you like outside? Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna negotiate down the gold.
The gold, the price to stay daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, the harbor master.
So as
That's
like
great.
Lux comes running by, the like ramp still dropping, she's like standing, tapping her foot, like waiting for it to come down. As you kind of come walking up next to her and start like approaching down, you see as you guys are like disembarking from like the back ramp, there are these two like kind of lizard folk walking around the ship. They have like clipboards and like these pieces of like graphite. They're like scraping down like on like these. They're actually not clipboards, but like pieces of stone slate in front of them, right? And there is like approaching you all, walking down the gangplank that'll like connect back onto the dock here. This dragonborn that has these kind of like gold frills like rolling down off around like the side of where her ears would be. She's wearing like this vest with a breastplate on it that's got like the symbol of the Corsairs as well, and the sturdy pair of breeches, and like notably has like a small kind of like cane as she's walking. And I think that like as she sees the two of you coming down off the back, she's like, "Hey, welcome to Rune." Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
I heard all
Hey.
about you guys. You guys are the Dragonfly. This is such a cute little ship. We've never seen anything like this down here before.
Awesome, right? It's totally wicked.
Hey.
It's so small. We have all these little dragonflies flying around all over the place, and it makes so much sense now that you look at it, but who would have thought about it?
So
Yeah.
fast. The fastest
would've?
ship you've ever been on in your entire life.
Is it really that fast?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so I just need to check. I've got some information I have to verify here. You're Lux and probably you're Reya, right?
Yeah.
Right?
You are, sorry?
Mechanic, me?
Yeah.
I'm Denise.
Nice.
Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The level of
Amazing.
bureaucracy on this planet is mild.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
We are very bureaucratic. I'm sorry, you must be Doc. I heard best mechanic in the galaxy.
Thank goodness. I don't
That
keep
is-
telling people all the time.
That is
Quite
what
an
Lux
official
says.
title. You could probably make a lot of money trading around just on that reputation before you leave. Because I think it's like you're looking around, you realize like there's bays with these giant ships everywhere, and ships that like dwarf the Dragonfly, right? These big freighters, these smaller like interpersonal ships. There's people like scrubbing the sides of them, taking off like space particles. There's repairs happening. You're seeing like weapons being brought up by like cranes, ballista, and catapults. You smell all kinds of different stuff in the air. The burning of wood and like the stink of fresh paint fumes and like ether and like thinners and kind of vapors coming off of like pine treatments and all of this kind of stuff. And so Denise is just like, right, so you're not here for any kind of major trade exports, no major imports, nothing like that. You're just an explorer team, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 That's right.
Awesome. Yeah, I could see it. Look at you. Oh my, look at that. Is that wooden armor? I love that. We love wooden armor around here.
Naya responds in Draconic. Oh yes, specially made in a very similar type of city a long time ago. A city that lives in the tree.
That's not bad pronunciation. I like it. Anyway. Okay, I've got this, I've got that. Oh, that's your Tortle. Hi. She's like waving up at the ship. I'm sure that they told you up there on the moon, we've got really serious laws about trespassing on the ships. It should be pretty safe here. I don't think anybody's actually going to touch it. Nobody's going to set foot on there. But I do just want to warn you. What's so funny? You guys are really excited.
We're just
to
wondering
be
if you
here.
like
I'm
wanted
so
to come on a
excited.
spaceship.
Yeah, we're wondering.
I do
Yeah.
have to just walk up onto the gangplank. I'm just going to take a look in your cargo bay. I'm going to visually verify the inspection and the information that you gave to the boys up on the moon. Here's the thing, gang. It's a really unique kind of looking ship. And so you might have a couple of artists or some would-be designers that might gather up. Folks, they like to set their little easels up out here, and I've been told there's only so much that we can do to kind of scare them off. We've got to kind of
Scare
play
them off.
nice.
We can have art of the dragonfly.
Well, they're going to sell it to you at an exorbitantly overpriced rate. Let me tell you that, honey. They are not giving this stuff away for free. Everybody's trying to make a buck in Sirion.
Wow, that's crazy. That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
In Draconic Knight is still like, well, definitely understand the rules and regulations and the need to check the ship out, but I mean, we gave all the accurate information. Look at us. We're not doing or carrying anything that could be possibly illegal. I feel like you look like you've, an expert at this job. We can trust you that you would have done a good job. Why not, take some time and not do that, and maybe we could just chat instead.
Let me tell you this, Naya. Flattery will get you everywhere, but only when I'm off hours. I have a job to do, and that sweet talk is not going to get past me. So I've just got to take a quick little look, but that was a pretty good try. I'm sure that you all are being very straightforward. I mean, how much could you hide in a little ship like this, really? Nothing that dangerous, right?
Yeah.
We're not hiding anything, but also it is haunted, so,
Yeah, and also you have to meet Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to talk to Ben.
Okay, if you say so.
Mm-hmm. I do.
So
I think Taylor just wants NPCs to talk to each other right now.
My favorite.
Let's go back and forth.
Why do I do this to myself? And so she's just like waiting for you to give her like the thumbs up to take her up the ramp, and kind of like, so she starts like walking up the back, and I think that like she gets to the top, like, oh wow, it really doesn't belie the size in here. You actually could hide a lot of stuff, but looks pretty good. I mean, I don't see anything major coming out of here. Obviously, any major sales would have to come off. Some of your crew are gonna stay here with the ship, I take it. That fellow looks like he's sleeping in the corner now. Hi. Okay. And I think Ben coming out like, oh, hey there. It's going to be really tough for me to get my voice right. And she's like, oh, hi. Hi, little fella. I really love those wings. Are you staying here on the ship, or are you going to come with your friends to come get a room? And he's like, actually, I'm not really sure. I just kind of show up when it's most convenient for the dungeon master. And really, wherever they tell me to go, that's where I'll be.
That's great. It's everything I could have hoped for.
Yeah,
should I stay here, or am I coming with you guys?
No, you stay. Yeah, you stay there.
Okay, I'll stay. I'll keep an eye on Jake. Jake, don't move.
You can come with me, Ben, if you want, or Doc, or us, because I'm probably gonna go with Doc.
I better stay here. It might get very confusing out there with all the strange people and characters you might run into. I wouldn't want to make anything more complicated.
Sure, Ben. You stay hang out. Oh, you gotta
I'll
perfect
keep
those
an eye
cheese
on
cookies.
the secret orb. I won't let him leave the ship. Don't worry about it.
Okay, great.
And so Denise is like, okay, great. This all checks out. I'm sure you're going to give us no cause to have to come back and give you guys any trouble. We're, of course, you're welcome to bear your weapons, and arms are perfectly acceptable here in Sirion. We are a hardened people and appreciate competent warriors, but it's really important that you know, if you draw your blade and spill blood in the Sky Gardens, the courts will take that pretty seriously. So only in self-defense, y'all. Okay? No harm, no trouble.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, good to go.
No.
All right,
Yeah.
great.
It's always self-defense.
Yeah, it is.
Don't I know it? Is there anything else I could do for the lot of you? Come on, I could lead you this way, just down this here gangplank. If we're gonna, she's like kind of like escorting you down away from the ship now, as the professor's like waving up off the deck or whatever. He's actually probably napping. Yeah.
Okay.
What is the best dessert on this planet?
Oh. Well, You'll hear a couple of different things while you're here, Doc. But if you want the real deal from me to you, I'm going to tell you that what you really want are the spun sugar bat wings.
That sounds amazing. Where do I
They
find one?
really are. They're pretty niche. If you go down to the meats and you're going to look for Kaderos's Confections.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem. Tell him that Denise sent you, and I bet you he'll give you a dozen for free. Buy one, get one. Tell him. Give him my deal, or I'll take it out of his ass next time I run into that dog. Anyway, some folks are going to try to talk to you about the taffy. Others are really going to want you to try the snake bites, and they're fine. They're not bad. But the spun sugar bat wings are Syrian's biggest secret.
Wow.
Okay. I will probably try all three, but thanks for the tip.
Awesome. Anything else you guys need?
Well, you seem like you know a place where people like to hang out and have fun. Find all sorts of entertainment. Any recommendations there?
Oh, for sure. You want to check out. We're talking about afternoon dancing, dark nighttime dancing, heavy music, lovely couples music, romantic, intense. They have every facet of the color spectrum covered there. What you want is the twisted limb. It's on the far side of the meets, right near the edge of the city. It's got a heck of a view of the sunrise because the party is always happening there when the sun is coming up on the workforce in the morning, or so the dancers would like to tell you.
On a side note, Rich, you were just ever so slowly slipping right into Stefan as you were describing this. Just hot as glove in Twisted Lamp. Like, you were headed right that direction, and I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a lot of voices trapped up in here with me, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Well, feel free to meet me there once you are off duty.
Maybe. Just maybe. Well, okay, hey, you all have a great time. I know that it's going to be a lot. You're going to see some things probably for the first time here that might be shocking. Our whole thing is that you don't need to love it all. You just need to love it enough to come back next time. If you have any trouble, there are pretty frequent Corsair stations all over the place. Let us do the peacekeeping for you.
Okay.
That's not an official motto. I've just been workshopping it, but
No, I like it.
everybody's
Great.
telling me
Yeah.
it really is no good. Thanks, you guys. Have a great afternoon. I'll
Denise.
see you. Bye.
Hi,
Yeah.
Denise.
And so with that, like, the four of you make your way. You see the Dragonfly perched up in the dock as you guys are kind of like walking down away amidst like what is the Skyport district of the city. There's all kinds of stuff happening all about you, right? You're seeing like smithies, you're hearing like the hammering of like hammers on anvils, the sound of like the kind of like rhythmic drum of like workforce in the distance, all manner of like smokes and foods, oils, and burning woods in the air. You guys like tell me where you want to go, what you're kind of interested in. Around you is an abundance of people, not merely lizard folk and dragonborn, but you see humans and orcs, you see goblins, you see amongst the dragonborn, there's a small contingent of tabaxi. You see a handful of these like gloriously colored feathered folk in like Aarakocra, standing talking with a black feathered Kenku. There are all sorts of people moving through the streets of this place. One of like the most diverse kind of locations that you all have stopped at since you got to space, I think.
Wow. Also, just a quick question. You were talking about we're seeing a bunch of like flying creatures and flying things and like things. So I guess my question is, do we see anything that's like I've seen Treasure Planet, but kind of this like a skateboard but for space that has a little sail on it? or anything like
Absolutely
that?
not. What you
Damn.
do see are these small boats, like rowboat sized, right? That are propelling themselves around with like, they have wings on the side. They're bigger than like a tiny rowboat, but they're like these small kind of like 20-foot boats. And you could see them moving from freighters in the skyport, like over to the Western District where the cash blocks are. But what you know now that you're walking around the city are not like sailboards or paddle boards, as it were, for space, but you like look up into the sky and you see these like big birds. Some of them are like hawks with like 40-foot wingspans with like these blood red kind of breasts and red tails. You know what looks like these flying mammals that you're like, oh my God, they're bats. And they're like flying during the day. They definitely have riders on them. You see something that is a little bit higher up than everything else that is distinctly feline in its motion, like a feline tail almost trailing after with these long wings, kind of yellowish against the like black fur of the thing. Yeah, there's all manner of like flying mounts here. And as you come down into like the main avenue here, you do in fact see carriages that are being loaded up, which are being pulled by giant lizards. And you note on the avenue itself, a couple of folks come by with almost like a howdah, like a big kind of basket like you would have on an elephant, on the back of these enormous spiders that are like scurrying down the street itself, with like a bundle of like small kind of dwarves in one. Another one comes by that has like a lizard person on it with like a whole bunch of like what looks like bundled meat on the back of it riding past.
Wow.
This is
Wish-
insane. I don't think I've ever been in a city this busy and big before.
That's because there are no cities as busy and big as this one, my friend. Welcome,
God.
well met, and pleasure to meet you. Can I get the group of you a carriage? You seem like first comers here to Sirion, and you'll never see all of it if you rely on your 2 feet.
I'm used to much more walkable cities, to be fair.
No, this is the exact opposite of a walkable city, my friends. And I think that the group of you turn to realize, like, there's this small goblin-y looking guy. His skin, like, notably kind of muddy green. He's got all these kind of, like, warts lumping up around on his cheeks. One ear, like, ragged and torn. The other one, like, standing tall with a point. But he's wearing, like, a vest. His very furry green chest, kind of, like, fur bursting up from underneath the vest itself. That he then has like a pair of overalls on over the vest, and a monocle in one eye, and he's like gesturing back like, perhaps a carriage might get you to your destination post haste.
Well, if you just give us 1 second, what is our destination?
To the
Meats?
meats.
I mean, I'm going to Twisted Lamp. I assume you guys want to try that bat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, what are you doing?
Sugar spun bat wings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
King Daros's Confections, the only place to get a sugar spun batwing in all of Sirion. Excellent. I can get you a cart and a travel there as quickly as you need. Just the 4 of you?
How much would this cost? Reya suddenly being very concerned with like the financials of the crew.
Because Denise totally smokescreened you, and you forgot to talk the
I
price.
did forget to talk the price.
That's why they said
Oh, we've
Denise
already
out there.
overspent our budget, carriage man. So I don't know.
That's why they sent Denise out there. They'll lull you into a false sense of security. I think his head snaps to you, Ray, and you see his eyes narrow, like, the financier of the operation. Excellent.
Wish I wasn't, but yeah.
Would only cost you 3 gold for a one-way route across the city. But get this, my lady, if you want a round trip, I can give it to you for 5 and bring you right back here to where you started by the end of the night.
We don't think. Aren't we staying somewhere else? I don't think you need to be back here by the end of the night.
Well, then I perhaps oversold the deal.
Where do we even want to go? How far is it?
Yeah.
To
Well,
the confectionery?
I mean, it would be very far if you try to walk, but if you take
I mean,
this
I don't
carriage,
think the distance changes depending on the mode of transit. It's the same Distance
entirely inaccurate, though, potentially, as it's all really a matter of navigation, isn't it? Certainly, spacefarers such as yourselves would know one ship can travel one way for one distance and an entirely another way for an altogether separate distance. Ha ha.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, but how far?
I'm saying two locations are the same distance apart, regardless of how you get there. I get that, like,
Two
different. If you're walking, maybe you take a different route than if you're riding a cart. But if anything, I would think the walking would make it a shorter distance.
Of course,
you can go much more as the crow flies than if you need to take roads.
We have flying crows if you wish to ride upon them, though they are slightly more expensive. But if you want the excellent deal at a 3 gold carriage, I can have it for... Why, look, it's right here now. I think as you see, like, a pair of lizards, like, sloughle up next to him, and he throws the door open. So, 3 gold for the exact distance that the good proprietor suggests. No more, no less. And at 3 gold pieces, I can have you there in just the shake of a spider's web.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I really would love to ride a lizard. I don't think I've done that before.
Well, we'd be in a carriage, but
not that kind.
Give me a few hours.
But I do really. I want to ride on one of the giant birds.
We could have a race, perhaps. 3 gold for the carriage, 2 gold for a lizard ride. Naturally, would you prefer one of the giant birds or the giant birds, my lady?
The biggest bird you got.
That will be 112 gold pieces to get you across town.
Absolutely.
Dendry, fetch the rock.
Wait.
Raise the rock from the
A rock? Rocks don't fly.
Oh, my lady, you have never been to Rune. Rocks fly better than all the rest combined.
What? Also, I don't think we can afford the big bird.
No.
What's the smaller
Dendry!
big bird?
Cut the rock.
Does it seem like the place that we're going is far? Like it would be a lot of walking? Or is it like...
seems like a very busy city. It's got like that urban city walking where you're going to get tangled up in crowds and probably the navigation itself. Just you guys turning down side streets and not sure where you're going, how you're going, where you're getting there would be enough to kind of like throw you off. So the carriage, if anything, is like point A to point B, right? Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
All right, so
Just
who's on the lizard? Who's on
One
the
gold.
carriage? There's no bird?
One gold.
1 gold.
Yeah.
For 1 gold, I can get you 1 man with 1 shoe who can hop in front of you and point the way. But 3 gold is an excellent deal if you compare it to that versus a ride in this lavish carriage.
We just got so taken for, all of our gold at the... Do you know how much it costs to just park your ship on this planet?
So much.
Should only be 15 gold per day.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous.
We did. Do you know any accountants?
Denise.
I absolutely do. The best of accountants. I could have this carriage take you there for no more than 1 additional gold.
No.
All
I'm
right, 3 gold,
hungry.
and we're going. Let's go to the confectionery shop.
Excellent, Dendry. He slaps the side of the carriage.
sorry, what is driving this carriage? Like, what is propelling it forward?
This man right here, and I think he points as you see an even shorter goblin.
Is it like a tuk-tuk?
step out?
It's
from
lizards.
behind
They're
you.
lizards.
They're
right?
a lizard.
Okay.
pulling
Yeah,
back.
okay.
Yeah. But when you said driving, he says this man and steps out of the way, and you see a slightly shorter goblin that's standing behind him, like he just kinda waves.
Dendry, is that correct?
Hello, Dendry.
Dendry.
My name is Joseph, but he just doesn't
Oh,
care.
Yeah, who are you? Did you introduce yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
My name is Marwhistle Marwenton.
Marwhistle
Keeper of-
Marwenton.
Marwhistle Marwenton.
Got it.
Keeper of carriages, mounts, and aviary transportation.
Ow.
No,
I
that's a
didn't even
lie.
notice.
This guy right here, he's just one of our sales folk on the corner. I think as you
Mhm.
see this like much larger human come walking up, like, yeah, my name's Martin, and I actually own all the animals and the carriages. And this little fellow here, he just kind of works this corner. What are you
Wait,
doing
how
to these
much,
folks, Mar Whistle?
How much is a one carriage ride, sir?
What are you trying to get?
Yes,
To the meats. They're
confectionery?
trying to get to the
No,
meats.
yeah, maybe the confectionery and the
No,
meats.
just 3 gold. He ain't lying to
All
you.
right.
He works on a commission, so I pay him extra if he's able to drum up a good deal of business. Is he giving you any trouble here? Is he?
No.
How about
No,
you,
we're
Joey?
just gonna get going.
Okay, great. You all right? All right, Joe. I love you, pal. Don't worry about this idiot. And I
Aw.
think that you see the human like putting their arm around Mar Whistle, the goblin turning as the group of you make your way into the carriage. And you see the small goblin Joe like, we'll be right on our way. I'll try to point out any notable landmarks.
Well, yeah, please.
He pushes the door closed for you and is like, okay, come on, let's go. Oh, I'm sorry. Just about you hear him from outside. But guys, come on. What are you doing here? We've got customers. And suddenly the carriage like lurches into motion. Like, oh, thank the gods! As the carriage like
Is there a
trundles
little
along through the
window?
trees. Yeah, there's totally
Yeah,
windows.
can
on
I
either
can I
side.
sit outside the window?
Yeah.
Just-
I was gonna say, is there enough room on the little like driver's seat? How much room is there on the little driver's seat?
There's extra room next to Joseph the Goblin if you want to sit there with them. Yeah.
Yeah, Lux, can I sit next to you?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, Lux is gonna climb out one of the windows and like go and sit.
Oh, holy cow! You're a regular gymnast. You're like, wow. Oh, okay. You got feet like a hadoozy there. Okay, cool. Be careful in the window there. Yep. So this is the whole skyport. It's very lovely over here. You can see a bunch of the caravans of the wagons. That's the Princess of the Night.
Whoa! Did you say Princess of the Night?
Yeah, it's one of the
shoot.
great ships for the consortium, actually. I'm pretty sure that they funded its construct. The consortium is one of the major trade guilds. It has its roots here on Rune. Of course, it's called the Chemist Consortium by some, the Brotherhood of Apothecaries. So they tried to get rid of that brotherhood thing about 20 or 30 years ago and kind of moving on beyond that. But they're one of the most important guilds founded here on Rune. They do a lot of business, of course. This way over there is the zoo, and that's the water park over there, and then their museum back that way.
Oh, the museum. Oh, yeah, cool. That's so cool. What the heck?
And so like Joe kind of like rides you in the lizard-born carriage like through the city. The lizards like pulling, the crowds kind of parting in front of you. You guys see an array of many places. There's all kinds of like eateries and fooderies, all manner of like fruits and vegetables, the likes of which you've never seen before. Like street meats being sold on like kebabs and all kinds of like little like street vendors, right? But ultimately, like they bring you down like through the length of the starport to like what amounts to 5 points. You come into like this big intersection, a kind of central plaza down at the center of the bowl. As you look up in any given direction, there's like buildings rising along the edges. And I think that you would see probably most notable for you, Reya, there is in fact a large like stone temple on the front of which is just this one symbol of like a shell, right? Of the segmented shell.
What color is it?
The shell is red. It's surrounded in like red with like black plates for the segment of the shell, red kind of cutting through. And as you come through the plaza, I think that you would see there is one particular dragonborn. White. No, I'm sorry. 1 second here. Right. Black dragonborn, their scales kind of like obsidian onyx almost swallowing. And they're standing in front of a large crowd on the steps in front of this cathedral. And I think you hear them calling out in the common tongue. And so our spread is slow, but inexorable. There is not a corner of the galaxy now where they have not heard his name. We will continue to spread the word, and someday our shell will reach across all the stars of the galaxy, and we shall keep safe all the peoples of all the worlds. For we know the will of the Dasher Clip. And there's like this rousing thing of applause. We will be the shell which blots out the stars from the worlds. He's like yelling to everybody. Only we can keep safe the worlds of fools who hear not his words. Like echoing as like Joseph on the front is like, those are the Dasher Clips. They've got quite a presence here in the city nowadays.
It's not great.
Hey Ray, are Dasher Clips related to Clancy at all?
Yeah, they're like a sect of Clancy followers. There's Clancyites like me, and then there's Dasher Clips like them. They're all about greed and abundance, and they're not so great,
Why are you
Yeah, that
Clancyites
sounds great.
and why is their name Dasher Clip?
Oh, because his name was Clancy Dasher Clip.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of
Huh.
sense.
Yeah. Each of us took half the name,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, I wonder if that's what he would have wanted to be called. He could have been called anything he wanted.
So Joe like leads the cavern as you, or the carriage as you come through. There's like many notable buildings, all manner of shops, like bookstores, antiquity shops. You imagine it, you see it here, and ultimately, like as you come through like the area of the Five Corners, when you're coming out the other side, the whole district has changed very kind of like notably, right? There's much less like metal, steel, iron all around you, and you're seeing wooden buildings, all manner of kind of like vines growing off their sides. There's grass roofs on some of these like 3 and 4 story buildings, have like this tall grasses kind of growing off the roofs, gardens in places. Again, like I think you pass what amounts to like almost like a grocery district. There's like these huge kind of open air areas of like strange nuts and roots, all manner of odd like fruits and like tubers, vegetables. There's all kinds of like carcasses like hanging in this like open kind of like meat market area. You're watching like people buying, others like loading them into wheelbarrows, orcs, goblins, lizard folk, tabaxi, all like kind of working in various roles, moving this stuff around. But as you come to like kind of the western edge of this district, and now you've been in the cart for what amounts to like about 40 minutes thereabouts, and you're coming out to the edge of the city, you see like this whole kind of row as like Joseph is just like leans around to you, Naya, like this is the tavern row, and this here is the Hall of Inns. It's a regular intersection, but the tangled branches, or the tangled limbs rather, all the way down there at the end of the street on the left, you could get rooms at just about any of these places here. They're open all the time, always have music, always have dancing. Plenty to drink there, but sometimes hard to get a real filling kind of meal. And I know you were looking for Caterus's Confections, the Spud
Wait, where's the
Batman.
Twisted Lamp? Is that near one of these things?
Yeah, right down this way. The Twisted Limb, just down over here. He's like pointing to you, and you can kind of like see it further down the street. This taller.
All right, well, see you all later, and then
Oh,
Niall
well.
just tuck and roll.
Niall like jumps off the carriage, rolling
Yeah.
away, kind of like trotting down towards that place. Like, you might want to keep tabs on them, but then again, you all are space adventurers.
Naya!
Carriage
I think
like
Lux-
pulls to a stop.
Throws a sending stone.
Yes.
Niall will catch it.
Yeah, and so with that, like the carriage kind of stops, and the little goblin is just like, is there anything else that you all need? Okay, well, it was a pleasure driving you this afternoon. Thanks for learning my real name and not calling me Dendry like that guy. I hate that guy.
Aw.
I have to go back now to him.
Here you go. Lux gives him a gold. See you later.
Oh, by the Secret Sisters, lady, thank you so much for this. This is
Wait,
a really nice tip. Thank you.
Hey, what'd you do? Wait.
I tipped him. That's what you
This
do.
is a very generous tip.
But yeah.
Oh,
It's a
you
very
were
generous tip. Nope, that's fine. Nope. It's yours now.
Reya, we
going
have
to
so
make a
much money
difference in my
again.
life.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
You've seen how
Thank you.
fast the money can go away, right? Like,
Well, we'll just be careful about it. We just won't blow it all on a statue.
yep. Well,
We
I'm
might
just gonna write
blow
that
it all
down so
on
that
Batwings, though.
yeah, I'm just gonna write that down so that when we blow it all on the statue again, I just have proof that you said that.
Okay, that's fair. But I said I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Sure.
With that, Naya has charged off to the dance club. The
He
three
didn't take any. He didn't take any of the money.
Nope. Nope. No money.
I
No
don't think
money.
Naya needs money where they're going.
Yeah.
But we're going. We don't need any cash. Naya is out, and we see like their blonde hair bobbing as they're like charging away down the street. It's still blonde, right?
Red with blonde.
Okay,
streaks.
it's reddish blonde. Yeah. As we're watching them, like just kind of like charging out of sight, turning, like the door opens, and I think that all you see coming from inside is this like pulsing of light as like the door opens, and you guys like, it's that thing where you feel it, like the music, like you're kind of like, how are they making that music inside there? That doesn't sound like a lute, as the door like closes and everything goes silent again, leaving the three of you out in the street. So I don't know if there's anything you three ladies want to do.
Close to the confectionery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try and
Do
spot
you
him.
think there's another person like Warbeam working there?
Who knows?
Maybe there's nobody like Warbeam.
There's no. I miss Warbeam.
Could be.
We
though.
should go back. Also
should.
because like Civil War Uprising sounds like maybe
Mhm.
something we should check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels like a whole thing, right?
Mhm.
So you guys like
Mhm.
walk yourselves down the street where you see this sign out in front, and it looks like literally like these crystals almost attached to each other, and it just has Kaderos's confections on the bottom of it, and underneath the confections you see like what looks like a basket just overstuffed with like muffins in it and scones, all these kind of baked good looking things, right? As you all like come striding up this big glass like window front, the bell like rings as you push the shop open, stepping up inside. The wood of the floor in here, it's got this, like the second you come in, there's this distinct spicy smell of almost like cinnamon, and the wood as you're like walking on it has this almost like sand between your shoes and the floor kind of a feel as you come in. But there are just these like on two walls to your left and along the back of the store, these like glass displays, right? Your very traditional kind of baker's glass display case, right? As you hear the sound of like and you turn and like look, you see this like towering figure over on the right side of the building, like leaned over in front of an oven. And as they pull themselves back out away from it, you realize they're like 8.5 feet tall, and they're wearing like this very like floofy kind of like white chef's hat on top as they turn around like, oh, hello. Their skin is like this granite kind of gray, and they have these like, you're not sure if they're tattoos or if it's makeup of this like red into like pink up under their eyes to their forehead, and an apron, this like white baker's apron with the simple white linen shirt, all of this like chocolate and kind of like yellow stained jelly, like jam stains all over it. Goliath seemingly, as this figure turns around like, oh,
Dope.
Well met. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you with my singing. It's usually a private baking sort of a thing. Welcome, come in.
I think Doc like slams open the door and is like, "Give me one of everything you've got."
Yeah.
Okay, two of everything you got.
Two.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, for sweets. Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
want,
perfect.
Reya?
I
Do
mean,
you want
what's
three? Three of
you
everything?
want?
Oh, yeah. 2. Well,
two
what are you
of
gonna eat?
everything we have. 2 of one.
Well, I thought
of
you were asking if I was
everything.
going to have 3 of every, because I am
So
I'm very large.
2 of one of everything for you, and then
Yeah.
3 of one of everything for you.
Okay, so
and then
4
one
of everything you've got. Should we get stuff for Naya and
I'm gonna
Jake and
need to
We can
write
come
this
back in the
down.
morning.
can we
I
get
do better
5
with-
of everything you've got?
Yes.
5. That's a
Yeah.
new number.
Or do you
We
know what?
haven't
Just make
talked
it
about
just make it a half dozen. Just an easy half dozen of everything you've got.
Not sure what a dozen is. I've actually always, it's been a problem in the field. Okay.
So you're Kaderos? Kaderos? Am I saying that correctly?
That was my mother's name, but yes,
Oh.
yes. I'm Ken.
Ken.
Yes.
Wow.
I
It's
didn't
delightful to meet
want
you.
to change the name of the store. I thought that
cool.
it would not ring as well and be very disrespectful to my dead mother.
Yeah, and it's a really cool story, like you just said. Like,
Yeah.
you can talk about your mom.
Thanks. I do much better with written recipes than improvisation. So just once more, we want 6 of each of everything I've got.
How
Yeah.
Can't
can we
wait to see the
carry? Are we able to carry all of that? How much do you actually
Well,
have?
I'm not sure as you seem. I mean, I don't want to judge. You're a bit shorter than me. You are very tall, miss, and have a powerful, broad set of shoulders. Perhaps, I mean, if I package the things adequately, I'm not certain that it's impossible per se, but I don't want to overestimate your strength. Some of these pastries actually use an incredible amount of butter. They're very dense.
I think Lux starts
Also,
to flex.
Denise sent us and
Oh,
said maybe you'd give us an extra dozen of the sugar spun bat wings.
buy one, get one free bat wings. Denise sells more of those bat wings than my mother ever did. Oh, I'm sorry, mother. Yes. I'm going
Excellent.
to need a lot of boxes. Okay, I will begin. 6 of everything. Who are you people?
From the Dragonfly,
Yeah. Lux. Hi.
Reya.
Zach, Waffle.
By the siblings you have made my day, crew of the Dragonfly. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
And I think he starts like walking around, gathering boxes. He's like folding boxes. It might be the awkward moment where he's like,
It's going to take me a minute to fold all the boxes.
Oh, hey,
you-
we can. I'm
no,
really
not
good at
that way.
folding
Here, I'll show you.
boxes.
You should fold.
Okay,
No, this
okay.
way. You fold. No,
Oh
you have to
shoot!
flip this.
there's a
Okay.
whole like teaching Lux how to fold boxes montage as the scene like, fades to black, and we open back up on Naya as you like throw the door open to this building in front of you, like striding in. Naya, as you walk into the Twisted Limb, you realize the back of the inn actually drops down in front of you. Like there's about a 40-foot like length of storefront or like, you know, club bar in front of you. There's a bar along the right side, and then you see the stairs apparently begin leading down. And as you start like moving forward towards it and look down into it, you realize that the whole like bottom of the place is like fully open to the trees out underneath, that there are these staircases leading down around the edges with a few booths almost set up like opera style. These booths are like looking down over the dance floor, and down at the bottom is this enormous clear glass floor with like a mass of people like dancing over the tops of the trees underneath. You see like these birds flying underneath it, and along like the whole like back wall are these gigantic windows. They start like stained glass down low in like the basement floors, and then as they're coming up, they're like transitioning color. The lowest ones are like these deep browns and greens, and then they shift to like blues. And then as you get up to like this wall of glass up near the ceiling on the back, it's again like clear glass, the like sunlight streaming down in. And there's just like this music like kind of booming in the place. Like you feel it like vibrating through you in a way that like you've never experienced music so resonant in a space before like this. Yeah.
So okay, are each of the well, I guess Naya's gonna pat their pockets and realize, crap, forgot my money. Oh well.
You could also
And
have money.
You have any
You could have
walking
money.
around money? Yeah, you have
Yeah,
pocket
could walk-
change.
You get pocket change.
sure, why not? But Naya will also just go up to the bar and find someone there and start chatting with them. And like, yeah, just I guess I don't know what type of people do I see? I guess I've
As you're like moving around the bar, you're like taken with the variety of people in here. There's a good cluster of humans. You see even like a pair of halflings. But as you're coming over to the bar, there's this cluster of tabaxi that you note there, like a few of them, these cat-like folks behind the bar. Another like seemingly tabaxi, though his frame is like a bit broader. He's got like this kind of mane of hair down around his head. There's like really like there's a couple of like goblins sitting with some orcs over at one table. There is Kenku like dancing out on the dance floor with like this Aarakocra that's got like these very kind of tropical parrot feathers almost looking. The blackbird and like then this red and green and blue one like dancing with it. All manner of like weird looking folks in here. And very notably, I think actually you would spot another Firbolg, as you've not seen a lot of those except for Reya. Yeah.
I think Naya's gonna go over to the backseat.
Okay. Yeah, you start walking over towards the bar and this cluster of tabaxi there. I think one of them like turns away from their companions, their eyes like narrowing a little bit, the ears like moving ever so such as you come towards them. Their fur is like mostly white with these mottled kind of like turtle patterns of like the black and orange running down over their head as you come towards them. Like, well, well, well. Hello.
Hello, indeed. I haven't seen a tabaxi in quite a long time. And it's
Well,
always a
then-
pleasure.
Then you have not been here very much, have you, Dancer? This is
Oh, no.
common enough for our folk.
Yeah, my first time on Rune, and I just heard so much about the Twisted Limb and had to come check it out. And boy, am I glad I did, because is there indeed a sight to see? As Naya
First-
just eyes them up and down.
Yeah. And so this one, like leaning back, like reaches, like taking this cup forward, like lowering their mouth into it. You see what looks like almost like some kind of like milk or something in there that they're drinking, right? As they're just like, well, first time to Rune. We'll have to make sure that we show you a good time then. It's your first night?
Oh,
This is-
indeed.
This is your first dance hall.
Yes, it's a very fascinating place. How is this set up? Is there like different music on each floor?
Oh, yes. It is one of the most unusual and exotic locations in the city. A layer of enchantments, you see. There are barriers of warding. And as we go up, the music is compartmentalized in a sense. We could head to the top floor and ballroom dance until the dawn comes, should you want. The cleverest of contraptions, actually, devised to capture the music played by the performers, and we'll play it again after they've left. I mean, it can't hold it forever, of course. That would be madness to be able to listen to the same songs over and over again, infinitum, but they say that no performance here in the Twisted Limb is ever truly unique, as they're all played at least twice.
Well, doing only one place of music does seem like it could be a little bit maddening after a while, the same thing over and over. I'm more of a sampling type. Try one of everything, one can say. So I might hit every single dance floor here, but I really could use a guide. Think you can keep up with something like that?
Yeah, I think that like they like kick the cup, putting it down like chunk. Like, if you are a sampler, then I merely have one question. What is your name?
My name's Naya. What is yours?
I think they've reached into their pocket and they pull out this like long, like silver looking thing, like mugging it for a second. I'm Cold Spoon. A silly name, I know. But I'm a silly sort of individual.
I've heard weirder.
Nothing like weird names on Tabaxi. And I think that they like offer you this silver spoon that they've taken out of their pocket as you realize that it is definitively a pipe in their finger, like as like a little flame like emerges off the one finger while they like hand you the pipe. Let us sample some things then, Naya. As I think the scene starts to like fade to black and we open back up on the side of this Goliath, this array of boxes next to him, and he's like,
well, now that we have it all packaged, do you think you will be able to carry it all, or I can help deliver it if you see fit? I've not ever had need of a delivery sort, but business has been slow these late days, and it's the least I could do for my best customers.
Yeah, we'll take a bunch now, and if you send a bunch of it back to the ship, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yes, I could do that. I'll start baking now, and I'll be sure to give them a good deal, banker.
He turns looking at you, Reya.
No cause for offense here. 6 of everything, and a free dozen bat wings.
And I think at this point, he lifts one of the bat wings, like offering you all a bowl. And it's at this point that you guys realize you're pretty sure they're real bat wings that are wrapped in like sugar. And he's just like,
bat wings for everybody.
As he's like shoving this bat wing into his mouth. Is everybody gonna try bat wings?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're big. It's hard to fit the whole thing in. If you try to like bite it and break it, he's like,
no, you must eat it all in one bite. That's the whole thing.
Gotta roll it up or
he's
something.
Like wolfing down bat wings, like the many boxes arrayed out behind him. Reya, concerned with the pricing that may be happening here, as well as the obvious price gouging that happened with Denise and all these stupid corsairs. And yeah, with that, you guys having like bought a pile of confectioners, dare I say, is this where we leave our adventurers tonight?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just open up the next morning. Naya's just surrounded by bodies, just like, wow, that was a hell of a night.
Dream of 1,000 cats, Kevin. Am I right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, there you go. You guys made it. I hope that was fun, you guys. Yeah, that's where I say the thing. I hope that was fun.
Yeah.
That felt odd and meandering. You guys awakened an angel and spoke to them. You met Sularan and Denise, two sides of the same coin.
Denise.
Wow.
We have to steal her.
Oh my god.
I also would like Ken, please.
So
well.
Denise, we'd like
And
you to
Joe.
quit your job.
I mean, we could probably take Joe. I mean, just saying.
He's a small goblin. I know somebody who hit a goblin in a backpack once, Taylor, to great effect. Next week we will return on Monday with a special guest, as we have the other half of the Sterling Aphrodite dynamic duo coming to join us. The one and only Will is going to stop in for some D&D in space, which it'll probably take me longer than I wanted to get them started. Will, I'm sorry, everything takes me longer than I ever expected to. You figure after 35 years I would know that by now, but
I thought I heard Will's playing Denise. I thought.
Oh my god, you guys. I totally decided to come join you.
I've been watching a lot of Bob. I'm trying to catch on the last season of Bob's Burgers, and it just sounds like every character from every child girl from Bob's Burgers, I think. Is where
Oh my god, really? There are sometimes I have the very clear like ideas of the voices, and then like I actually go for the character to speak, and it falls completely out of your head the second that you do it. I mean, like I don't know if you can relate DMs, but there are other times where I'm like, oh no, this voice that entirely does not fit the situation is the voice for this situation. Yeah, this is what's gonna happen.
So good.
Denise was waiting there for ages, but Suleran's voice fell apart. I'm sorry, Suleran. Maybe another day.
Apologize to your own creations.
Listen, they're very fully realized. You know, like that singing in the shower. It's like pitch perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
NPC voices like going to the store are friggin' immaculate every time, right? Epic.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
never
Babs.
veer astray.
Babs, my character in the PSR Discord, was not going to be Australian, like New Zealand. But that's what happened when I first met Babs. Yeah.
I do have to say, the other day I was at work at the farm and I couldn't stop saying foam termin in like a Scottish accent for no reason. I was sitting there in the mums just like saying it over and over, and I realized what I was doing, and I was like, oh no.
Because Brazzoli Chaos was obsessed with fighting on foam termin. Yeah.
Yes, it was literally
You're like remembering that the dwarves want to go back. Yeah, we have to go back.
It's very funny. Yeah.
A lot of you guys played a lot of D&D today. It's a late night for you. It's been a delightful session here. We should see what else everybody has going on. Melissa, what's hype? What's going on in the world? You want to tell us about it and like hype it up? You should.
Sure, yeah. Follow me on Twitter, MelissaW28. And yeah, if you're a post-show recaps podcast listener, you probably saw the first episode of Who A is out with Kevin and our friend Adam H. And so we're going to talk Doctor Who. And so we're going to cover the first episode of series 9, or the 9th Doctor, Rose, in the next episode. So that's happening. And yeah, we're going to talk Doctor Who for a while, and it's going to be fun.
They call him Madam H. Around here, we know him as Pia Indie Chat. He's bringing the doctor. They're bringing the heat. I'm very excited to scope this out, being full Doctor Blind. Kevin, your co-host, your partner in crime here. What about you? What else are you doing out there in the world, Kevin, that you want to hype up?
Yeah, I mean, Who A definitely the big one that's happening. Josh and I are in a small break on Everything is Super as our schedules get lined back up. He's in the midst of a lot of House of the Dragon stuff, so we want to give him enough room to be doing that. But then you can still get your Everything is Super fix as we have episode by episode recap by Sasa and Jason that is happening every week. So you should definitely check that out. And check out She-Hulk. It's also freaking hilarious. Like, it's the first Marvel show that I feel like is delivering me what I wanted it to be thus far, which is just a straight. I just want a comedy. I want a show that feels episodic, is a comedy, feels like TV, and is what this show should be, and it is delivering on that, and I absolutely love it. So highly encourage checking out She-Hulk, a really hilarious guest star this past episode. And yeah, other than that, I've appeared here and there on various podcasts, including the What We Do in the Shadows one with Grace, and Sandman with Grace and Rich, you right here. And yeah, that's,
Kevin,
that's mostly what's going on.
Can I tell you that we did that podcast and I've never felt more regret at the end of the podcast, because immediately this like the line from that episode went viral and we never mentioned it. We didn't mention the line at all, which is
New York,
yeah, and it went viral and we didn't even mention it. And the whole thing we do on that pod is just say the funny lines from the show. Yeah. And so I feel so sad.
It is sad that we missed that, because that line is very iconic. What a read on Matt Berry's part. See, that's what the D&D playing is missing, right? Like, we go in and we're just like, okay, we're gonna have this character, and then all of a sudden we do like a New Zealand accent or like maybe ridiculous accent from previously, and it's just like, why didn't I just do Matt Berry? Just do that, like.
Yeah, you can do any of them from What We Do in the Shadows, and you have a great D&D accent.
It's very true. Sometimes it doesn't need to be an accent, just the affect. It's so over the top. Those guys are very funny. Like, I'm the self-proclaimed elitist jerk that's way too pretentious about all my stuff to like have a good time or enjoy a comedy. But I watch that show and I'm like, my God, why do I hate myself? This is so funny, you know? Like, why can't I like enjoy nice things? Very awesome. Yeah, that's you guys. Grace, what are you doing? You're doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, wrapping up A League of Their Own, wrapping up What We Do in the Shadows actually ends this week. The Sandman we're on the final week of, so lots of things wrapping up. And then the regulars here, I'll have Potion Recaps Theater continuing. We're doing 3,000 Years of Longing this week, and House of the Dragon covering that with Mike Bloom right after the episode. Doing sports over on Reality TV or Hap-Ups with the Offspeed podcast, and a new show, Roll Call, Twitch, YouTube show where we play board games with podcasters. We played Settlers of Catan. We're introduced Rob to his Catan phase. Very fun. We'll be doing that monthly. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm on Twitter at Hi from Grace.
It was super cool. I scoped out the beginning of it. Taylor, anything you want to hype up or put out into the world? I know we're delayed on our alternate productions, but
yeah, no, I think most of the time I'm here, which by the way, because Rich was not gonna say it, we're at like 396 followers here, so 4 people should follow so we can hit 400 people, because that would be really super cool. And yeah, like subscribe and all that good stuff, because you know, if you enjoy us over here doing our like silly D&D stuff, but yeah, this is where I usually hang out, Dragonfly and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor, for like shattering my fear of self-promotion or whatever. We have been at 396 people for like a month. It'd be cool if I broke 400. That would feel nice. So thank you for that. We will not be back tomorrow night with Threads in the Pattern. Scheduling is like monstrous. Scheduling. Hate it. Someday we will return. We will play more Dungeons & Dragons in the world of the Wheel of Time. Humble Year coming up at the end of the month. Otherwise, the only big thing on the radar for here will be, or the next big thing, I should say, will be next week. We will return next Monday, the 12th, with special guest Will Afferteed. We're very excited to have him here. Coming up soon after that, keep your eyes out for a Star Wars tabletop role-playing game. We're going to dive back in with the Fantasy Flight Star Wars again. We're going to take another little one-shot dip back into a galaxy far, far away before Andor starts. Got a really fun little group coming together for that, and I am excited about it. Coming next week. I'm podcasting about a bunch of stuff. You probably know about it because you probably already follow me on Twitter at DMPhilly, but you can, if you found this on Twitch and for any reason you want the rest of this, go to YouTube and look for at DMPhilly. All the VODs are there. You can watch all these awesome people playing a bunch of D&D, and even sometimes some other tabletop role-playing games like City of Mist, which is very cool. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. It's always a treat. And with that, let's get the hell off the internet. We're out of here.
Bye.
Bye.